Whoa, it's the world. Hello. Hello, viewer. How are you? How are you, viewer? I'm glad you're here. I'm glad there is a viewer for me with me. For the sake of the world. Let me just click on it on this and let me do a promotion. We're going to promote to present Sunday Nerds. Or better announcement. Shut it down. Ollie. Who is Ollie? Who's Lumie Bushu? Who's Lumie Bushu? Bushu? Zata. No, chodź. Chodź. Chodź do mnie, Busiu, chodź do mnie, Busiu. Chodź, 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 chodź. Chodź, Busiu. Chodź. No chodź. Chodź, Fajda. Chodź. Fajdo, chodź. No chodź. Chodź, Fajdo. No chodź. No chodź, tu chodź. Chodź, ja streamuję teraz, chodź. Did you see him? Did you see Fido? Fido. Alright. I've done it. How is anybody that's actually still here? Oh, you haven't caught Fido? Wait. Was Fido not on camera? Yeah, he was, I think. Yeah, he was. Wow, nobody reacted to Fido being here. Everybody missed Fido, as always. Okay. My noise suppression thing is actually really good. It suppresses all the noise really well. Whoa. Oh my god, so many cables. I am drowned in cables. And it's annoying because they're all tangled up. They all tangled up on their own. I didn't do it. I didn't tangle them up. They just One day they were just tangled up. I had no control over it. It's strange. It is a strange fact of life. Oh, let's start with this actually, because this is interesting. Okay? Japan news, okay? Let me see. Let me start with the Japanese lower parliament wiki. Okay? Japan. The House of Representatives is the lower house of the National Diet of Japan. The House of Councillors is the upper house. The composition of the House is established by Article 41 and Article 42 of the Japanese Constitution. The House of Representatives has 465 members elected for a 4-year term. Of these 172, because we have DW News, Japan's Prime Minister Takaichi dissolves parliament and calls snap elections, which always is pretty interesting to me. I don't think many people are keeping tabs on what's happening in Japan. The only thing that people took note of is that the new prime minister was pretty right-wing and I think was not vocally against Japanese war crimes. So I guess that's what's going to be happening. All right.
To Japan now, and Japan's new Prime Minister, Sanae Takaichi, has dissolved the lower house of parliament for snap elections. The country's first female leader, a hardline conservative, has been in office for about 3 months now. She is hoping that strong approval ratings will translate into a clearer mandate for her Liberal Democratic Party, which lacks a majority of its own right now. But the vote is about more than domestic politics. It will also shape how Japan positions itself in an increasingly...
So basically she didn't have the government that she wanted to, so she dissolved the parliament? No way.
...uncertain region.
Just 3 months after taking office, Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi is sending the country to...
Hello, Convenient Estelle. It seems like the Prime Minister of Japan has decided that the parliament that she had to work with was, I don't know, not good enough, so she just dissolved it. And snap elections, I guess, because she hopes to get a... She hopes that the voters will choose a parliament that will give her a better mandate. She'll be able to pass more of what she wants, which... being, as she was just described here, a hardline conservative, that makes me a little bit worried. I assume she's going to try to revive the Japanese military. She's going to move towards turning Japan more of a power in international relations. She's going to maybe push for a change in the constitution. The Japanese Defense Force is not going to be that anymore. It's just going to be a regular military.
The polls on February 8th. Her ruling Liberal Democratic Party does not command a majority in either house of Japan's parliament. She is seeking a direct mandate after taking over from her predecessor, Shigeru Ishiba.
Apparently, the prime minister rotation in Japan is very dynamic. Apparently, very rarely do any of the prime ministers in Japan serve a full term. They'll just leave and there's another one is chosen. Let's see. I want to look into this because this is actually a very interesting phenomenon. Why do Japanese prime ministers never serve a full term? Japanese prime ministers often have short tenures due to a parliamentary system where they must maintain the support of the Diet and their party, coupled with extreme public sensitivity to scandals or low approval ratings. While not a rule, frequent resignations occur because unpopular leaders are swiftly replaced to avoid electoral losses, rather than for structural reasons. Key factors for short tenures. Intense pressure, low popularity. When approval ratings drop often under 30% or in the face of scandals, Japanese prime ministers are pressured to resign to protect their party's standing. It's weird, isn't it? I wish that was the case in the US. If the president's approval rating falls, the president has to resign or something. Trump would have to resign. Party leadership, internal politics. The prime minister is usually the leader of the majority party. And this is interesting because right now, the prime minister of Japan's party does not have a majority, which is probably why she dissolved the parliament. Prime minister usually the leader of the majority party. Internal party politics, factions, and the need for a popular figurehead for general elections mean leaders are often ousted if they cannot sustain party support. I know that she has, apparently the current prime minister has a pretty okay approval rating, even though she's a hardline conservative, or maybe it's because she's a hardline conservative. I don't know. I actually don't know what the mood among Japanese voters is when it comes to that. The twisted diet. If different parties control the lower and upper houses, passing legislation becomes difficult, leading to a political gridlock and instability, which maybe is another reason why she dissolved the parliament. No fixed term. Unlike presidential terms, there is no set guaranteed term for a prime minister, allowing them to be forced out by a vote of no confidence or a resignation following an electoral setback. Isn't that interesting? So I don't even know how long this lady is going to be in office, to be quite honest with you. You know? I have no clue how long she'll stay in power.
Things have changed completely since Ishiba was prime minister, and it doesn't represent the will of the people. I was hoping they would quickly dissolve parliament, so I think this is very good. With just 2 weeks of campaigning, it won't be possible to have a calm discussion of the issues, and that makes me very uneasy.
At home, Japan's first female prime minister's short time in office has been marked by a promise to combat rising prices with tax cuts and heavy government spending. Abroad, she's been making...
Jesus Christ, she's endorsed by Trump? Really? Oh, the video isn't on screen. Great. She's endorsed by Trump. We're going to watch the thing again.
Japan now, and Japan's new Prime Minister, Sanae Takaichi, has dissolved the lower house of parliament for snap elections. The country's first female leader, a hardline conservative, has been in office for about 3 months. Now, she is hoping that strong approval ratings will translate into a clearer mandate for her Liberal Democratic Party, which lacks a majority of its own right now. But the vote is about
She's in trouble.
more than domestic politics. It will also shape how Japan positions itself in an increasingly uncertain region.
Just 3 months after taking office, Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi is sending the country to the polls on February 8th. Her ruling Liberal Democratic Party does not command a majority in either house of Japan's parliament. She is seeking a direct mandate after taking over from her predecessor, Shigeru Ishiba.
Ishiba was the one that dressed up as a Dragon Ball character, I think.
Things have changed completely since Ishiba was prime minister, and it doesn't represent the will of the people. I was hoping they would quickly dissolve parliament, so I think this is very good. With just 2 weeks of campaigning, it won't be possible to have a calm discussion of the issues, and that makes me very uneasy.
Yeah, I agree.
At home, Japan's first female prime minister's short time in office has been marked by a promise to
It makes me so nervous that this lady is endorsed by Trump. Look at
combat
that.
rising prices with tax cuts and
Look at that.
heavy government spending. Abroad, she's been making waves, deepening cooperation with the United States and South Korea while taking a firm hand on neighbouring China.
The international situation is increasingly difficult. The Chinese have conducted military exercises around Taiwan.
Ah, yes. I think this prime minister said there was huge tensions with China because she said that um, if China moves on Taiwan, Japan will not hesitate to respond with military. That is what she said, and it caused a big uproar. I remember.
You can also see how China uses economic coercion to force other countries to submit to its demands by controlling raw materials in supply chains.
Hello, Rob Fortune. Rob Fortune, you should. Listen, Rob Fortune, you should join lucyhaza.org/live, okay? And consider subscribing or donating.
Materials that the world relies on and are widely used for civilian purposes.
That tougher, more nationalist tone is resonating with some voters, and Takaichi
With
is
some voters, but Japan has a very complicated relationship with the military, with militarism, because of World War II and the trauma of nuclear weapons. That's one thing that kind of sort of ended up, I don't want to say working, but I remember some years ago when Japan said that they wanted to raise the military or do something abroad with the military, and the population just protested. People went to the streets and said no because of that memory of how Japanese militarism ended up for Japan last time it tried it. So I don't know. It might resonate with some voters, but I assume it will definitely not resonate with some as well. This sort of rhetoric.
doing well in the polls. And after years of political churn, many value Takaichi's direct style and emphasis on national security. But her election bid is facing a significant challenge. Japan's main opposition party and a former coalition partner are joining forces, aiming to pull Japanese politics back towards the centre.
Our two parties have reached an agreement to form a new party so we can fight this election together.
That fight will come to a head when Japan's voters decide all 465 seats in Parliament's lower house. Takaichi's short but eventful time in office has been marked by speed and decisiveness, and she's now betting that this snap election will turn that bold approach into stronger leadership for her and her party.
What does she want to do, actually, apart from cutting taxes and lowering prices? Like, what's her program? I don't even know. I should learn more about this lady.
I spoke to Gavin Blair, a journalist in Tokyo, and I asked him why the Prime Minister dissolved Parliament now.
It's really all about the high approval ratings. In some polls, she's polling as high as in the 70s. These are kind of unheard of numbers. So this is a very good chance for her to strengthen that mandate. As you said, so far she's done well. The visits from Trump and the South Korean Prime Minister have all gone very well, despite her lack of foreign affairs experience. The public seems to like the fact that she's not from a political dynasty and the fact that she is a woman. In a political landscape where it feels that things rarely change, she does feel something of a breath of fresh air. So this is a chance for her to get a strong mandate.
I just want to know what her program is.
And yet despite everything you say, her governing coalition does just have a one-seat majority in Parliament. So is this a risk, calling this these snap elections?
It's always a risk.
It certainly is something of a gamble. She does have a majority of just one, and that coalition is quite precarious. It's not built on strong foundations. They could pull out at any time if they disagree with any of her policies.
And what are her policies?
But the opposition is not strong. As you just mentioned, they've just formed a new party. That's literally this week. I haven't even fully memorized the name. It translates as the Centrist Reform Alliance. So this brings together the main opposition party.
I don't even remember the name.
And Komeito, the former coalition.
Very blunt. journalist. I don't even remember the name of that new party that they formed. I don't even know who they are.
partner. Komeito has a formidable electioneering machine that used to deliver a lot of votes to the LDP. It should now be able to deliver a lot of those to the new party. However, forming a new party literally weeks before the election, where the electorate really is not quite sure what they stand for, that is quite a risk. So, yeah, this is something of a gamble for Takaichi, but I think a gamble she certainly thinks is worth taking.
I want to see. I want to see what her program is. What is Takaichi's ambitious economic and security agenda? Political realignment in the 2026 Japanese election. On January 23rd, the Prime Minister Takaichi Sanae dissolved the Diet and called for a lower house election on February 8th. On January 23rd, Prime Minister Takaichi Sanae dissolved the Diet and called for a lower house election on February 8th. She hopes to take advantage of her continued high approval ratings, which hovered around 70% for months, to better position the Liberal Democratic Party to legislate a slate of policy initiatives in the coming year. I want to know what those initiatives are. I want to know what causes that high approval rating for a hardline conservative prime minister. The last two elections proved the LDP had fallen out of favor with Japan's voters, and Takaichi is betting that she can repair the erosion of confidence in her party. The 2024 lower house election resulted in a loss of 56 seats and left Japan's conservatives in a minority position. The LDP similarly suffered in the upper house election last summer, losing its majority and only winning 39 out of the 125 contested seats. As the campaign for the lower house opens, Takaichi's approval ratings have dipped. As the campaign for the lower house opens, Takaichi's approval rating have dipped to the 60% range. That's still a lot. 60% is still quite a lot. Yet there are broader political currents afoot. The LDP's long-standing electoral and governing coalition with Komeito dissolved in October 2025 after Takaichi assumed the leadership of her party. Takaichi then formed a new coalition with the Ishin no Kai, a conservative Osaka-based party. This upcoming election will be the first test of its political impact on both parties. So she ended an old coalition and basically started a new one. Japanese politics are in the midst of a realignment. In addition to the new LDP Ishin coalition, the Constitutional Democratic Party of Japan, CDPG, has now joined forces with Komeito to form a new party, the Centrist Reform Alliance. There you go. So the person remembered the name correctly. It is the Centrist Reform Alliance, CRA, where the Democratic Party of the People, DPP, will align remains to be seen. What are the issues that inform the realignment of parties? To be sure, Japanese voters are worried about affordability, which Trump said is a fake word, by the way. Trump said that there's no such a thing as affordability, even though he ran his campaign on affordability. So it's funny how things change. Now he says that affordability is just a democratic hoax, just so you know. And the growing economic pressure on their households. But there are social issues that are shaping Japan's political debate. I wonder what those probably immigration. I bet it's immigration, but what else? Three in particular may offer some insight into this election. Okay. All right, let's see. Cultural wars. Okay, cultural wars have entered Japan. I wonder if one of them is going to be LGBT and transes. All right, three social issues that shape the decision-making of Japanese voters. Let's go. Issue number 1. The growing presence of non-Japanese. The first is the discomfort among the Japanese people with the growing presence of foreigners in their society. The Sanseito Party, a relative newcomer to the electoral scene, captured attention when it won 14 seats in last year's upper house election. One of its priorities was to proclaim a Japanese first agenda. Wow, where have I heard this before? Make Japan great again, I guess. Make a Japanese first agenda and argue that the influence of non-Japanese visitors and residents alike was overwhelming the interests of Japanese citizens. I don't know what that means. Influence of non-Japanese visitors and residents alike was overwhelming the interests of Japanese citizens. I have no clue what that's supposed to even mean. Amidst a population crisis, by the way. Yeah, an ongoing crisis, a demographic crisis. Japan is an extremely aging society. There are villages, there are places where whole train routes had to be cancelled because there were no passengers anymore, which is crazy to think about. Some rural areas where just trains had to be cancelled. I don't know what that means. The influence of non-Japanese visitors and residents alike is overwhelming the interests of Japanese. What does that mean? For some time now, the behavior of tourists coming to Japan has been concerning to many. According to the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism, in 2025, Japan saw approximately 42.7 million visitors, a 15.8% increase from 2024. While this surge is boosting revenue, the brunt of the impact is on the local government, forcing it to implement countermeasures to over-tourism. I hate the fact that it's so vague. Like, I'd like to hear some specific examples of what exactly the bad behavior is, of what the countermeasures are. Because I also know the other side of this coin. Places in Japan that straight up say visitors are not allowed to enter this store, like foreigners are not allowed to enter this store, foreigners are not allowed to enter this restaurant. That's a thing in Japan, at least that used to be a thing in Japan. I have no clue if it's still a thing, but I certainly know that used to be a thing. Many local governments are struggling to cope with the impact of over-tourism on the daily lives of their residents. In Kamakura, an anime pilgrimage linked to Slam Dunk overcrowded a small train station, raising safety concern after a middle schooler was struck by an unlicensed taxi. What the fuck? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so confused. What does over tourism have to do with a middle schooler being struck by an unlicensed taxi? Shirotaku. Like, would unlicensed taxis not be a thing even without tourism? I don't see the connection. I'm failing to see the connection between the too many tourists and unlicensed taxi hitting a child. Also interesting that Kamakura, the Slam Dunk city, is so popular. Do you know Slam Dunk? Slam Dunk is one of the most famous mangas and anime of all time. It's about basketball. It's actually really good. I highly recommend it. See, I can do the President Sunday thing too. But unlike President Sunday, my rant is actually somewhat connected to the topic at hand. My little ranting is somewhat connected to the article. I don't know. I still fail to see the connection between the taxi and the middle schooler struck by an unlicensed taxi. Meanwhile, the rural, picturesque town of BA, Hokkaido, with 9,344 residents, hosts 2.4 million visitors annually. BA has been used as a backdrop for numerous Japanese commercials and TV shows, making it popular with photographers and natural enthusiasts. Attractions in BA include the Seven Stars Tree, the Shirogane Blue Pond, and the well-known Christmas tree spruce. And as tourist numbers increased significantly, the city moved to protect these locations by rolling out access restrictions. I mean, that makes sense, okay? Having access restrictions to certain places, do not let them be over-trampled or destroyed. That kind of makes sense. To visit the Christmas tree, the town implemented a shuttle service that runs only 3 times a day to transport tourists to manage congestion. Yeah, that makes kind of sense. Beyond tourism, the growing presence of foreign workers and long-term residents has also attracted attention. Over 3.9 million foreigners currently reside in Japan, a 5% increase from 2024. Chinese residents make up the greatest share of foreign residents in Japan, with over 900,000 living in Japan, a 30,000 increase from 2024. With Japan's ongoing labor shortage, demand for foreign workers resulted in a record 2.3 million in 2024. I mean, there is a worker shortage. What is the alternative? What is the alternative for fixing the worker shortage if not to bring in foreign workforce? Are Japanese politicians going to argue that it's better to have a crisis in the workforce than accept people from abroad? And that number is expected to be even higher for 2025. These arriving workers come mostly from Asian countries, including Vietnam, 24.8%, China, 17.8%, and the Philippines, 10.7%. And also it goes both ways. A lot of Japanese people go to Vietnam, for example. A lot of Japanese people live in Saigon. When I went to Saigon twice, I went to Vietnam twice, it's a fact that many Japanese people have found themselves in that city and permanently moved there. I saw signs in Japanese in Saigon saying, "In this store, we speak Japanese." I went to a street food place where the menu was half in Vietnamese and half in Japanese. I went to a special little Japanese district even, where we went to a little restaurant, little food joint where, interestingly enough, the owner very enthusiastically spoke in Japanese to everybody, to the staff, to the guests. She just spoke Japanese. And when I spoke Japanese back to her, she was not surprised in the slightest. She thought that it's the most obvious thing in the world that I spoke Japanese. Everybody speaks Japanese. Again, that was in Saigon, Vietnam. You know? She didn't actually ask people to speak their language. It's just, she was just speaking. I thought it was actually kind of funny. And interesting. Usually when you speak Japanese to a Japanese person, they will just look at you with this shock, as if something... No, but she was just, It was interesting. So yeah, this is weird. Like, do politicians and do people expect the shortages to just resolve themselves? These arriving workers come mostly from Asian countries. There you go. She thought you were also Japanese. Yeah, I remember I shyly went to her and asked her in Japanese, "Is there a bookstore somewhere?" And because she lives there, she's Japanese. So I was like, "Is there maybe a bookstore in the neighborhood when I can get any books and stuff in Japanese?" And she just, she without skipping a beat, she was like, "Oh yeah, look at this map. I'll show you." Japanese was funny. A conservative backlash. Ooh, okay, let's go. Because she has a pretty big approval rating. And also, Kui Tekos, you've missed me playing Suikoden on the Japanese, on the other channel, on the gaming channel, and there was a Japanese viewer. And I think you've missed me speaking with them in Japanese at length. Yeah, you've missed my Japanese language arc on stream. When I talked in Japanese to a new viewer, that's Japanese. Takaichi has been one of the few leaders in the LDP to address this issue. In her campaign to lead her party, Takaichi was the only one out of the 5 candidates on the debate stage who explicitly raised concerns about how foreigners are behaving in Japan. Foreigner speaks perfect Japanese and doesn't shock the native. I don't speak perfect Japanese. Also, I don't know, because I don't like vague statements, okay? I have a strong aversion over vague nothing statements like, oh, look, the prime minister raised concerns over foreigner behavior in Japan. I want to have examples, okay? I want to know what those behaviors are, what the concerns are. You know, I hate when people operate in vagaries, because that can be interpreted in any which way, you know? It can just be interpreted in any way anybody wants. Like, behavior concerns can mean anything. In her press conference announcing her intention to run, she stated, I, Takaichi Sanae, will devote myself to protect the traditions that made Japan an irreplaceable country if foreigners trample on the feelings of the Japanese. I don't know what that means either. Oh, we're going to look into Iran a bit. I don't know what that means, okay? Like, a lot of Japanese people don't care about Japanese tradition. That is also an interesting part. I will devote myself to protect the traditions that made Japan an irreplaceable country. Well, I'm sorry to say, a lot of young Japanese people, as not many as there are of young Japanese people, don't really care about Japanese tradition. And yeah, I remember many years ago, and that was many years ago now, when we had a presentation of the tea ceremony. You know, the famous Japanese tea ceremony. That's a thing that is worldwide, that is known worldwide. And I remember the Japanese person that oversaw the ceremony gave a whole speech when she said, you know, nobody in Japan is interested in this anymore. Nobody is interested in this traditional ceremony, but I'm glad that at least foreigners keep it alive, you know? So I don't know what that means when she says that she's gonna save the traditions from the evil foreigners, when some of those traditions are actually unironically being kept alive by foreigners that are interested in it and want to do it, when people domestically just don't. Takaichi's interest in the issue may be personal. She has voiced concerns about her home continuancy in Nara, a popular tourist destination. Social media has been full of videos showing foreign visitors mishandling and in some case being abusive to the deer that famously run free at Todaiji Temple. Okay, that's bad. See this now, this is an example of a bad behavior from foreigners that I can understand, you know, abusing animals that run free at the temple. Okay, mishandling and abusing animals. See that now, that's an example that I can digest, understand, and kind of agree with, that the countermeasure against that should be very harsh. She expressed this concern saying, as a woman from Nara, I cannot help but worry about the more than 1,460 deer living in Nara Park. I don't know why there's a specific worry if she's a woman, but okay, whatever. She worries about the deer. Apparently, women have some special affinity to deer that men just would never understand. Takaichi has repeatedly cited this example of bad behavior in calling for government action to regulate tourist behavior. I mean, I'm not against regulating tourist behavior, actually. I'm definitely not against that, but I don't think we should be conflating tourists with people that come to Japan to live and work there, because that's also a thing that seems to be happening. There is a very big difference between a tourist and a person that comes to a country to live there permanently. There's a balloon. A second explanation for prioritizing this issue may also be Takaichi's desire to bring conservative voters back to the LDP. Much of the analysis of the LDP's recent electoral performance focuses on the disgruntlement within the conservative wing of the party with policy under former Prime Minister Ishiba Shigeru. Ishiba Shigeru, was he the one that dressed up as an anime character? Okay, Ishiba Shigeru anime costume. Yeah, he dressed up as Majin Buu. See? That's him. That's the former Prime Minister of Japan. Dressed up as the Dragon Ball character Majin Buu. Takaichi has been an advocate for Japan's traditional values and social practices, and the priority informs her broader framing of Japan's future. Again, this is so vague. This is par for the course for conservatives, but least evil minister. I don't know what her policies are. It's all so vague. Without a doubt, Sanseto's rise pushed the issue of foreigners into the national spotlight. During the July 2025 upper house election, the new party's emphasis on putting Japanese first and adopting tougher policies for immigrants and foreign tourists resulted in a big win from 2022 to 2025. I actually don't know. I don't know much about this new prime minister. She's been in office for 3 months now. I know her because she had a big tension with, still has big tension with China, because she said that if China attacks Taiwan, Japan will not hesitate to respond with the military. And I know that she dissolved the parliament now, but I don't know what policies she has implemented up till now. We can look into it. I don't mind. Oh, Kui Tekos says, all world leaders are taking the strategy ambiguity meta to a whole new level. I know. The party gained an additional 5.6 million proportional votes, and this rise in Sanseito popularity has challenged the LDP's hold on many conservative districts long loyal to the LDP. Recent public opinion polling reveals this heightened concern about the number of non-Japanese in Japan does not belong solely to conservatives. I mean, Japan is a pretty hermetic society overall. A November 2025 Asahi Shimbun poll found that 56% of the respondents believe Japan needs fewer visitors and immigrants, and 66% back Prime Minister Takaichi's tougher stance. So what's the solution then? What exactly is the solution to the demographic crisis then? We should have less immigrants, but at the same time, people in Japan do not want to form relationships and no families and no children. So I guess whatever, right? I guess the population will just decrease and there's nothing that can be done about it. I guess that's it then. It's just, I don't... Convenient Estelle says, encourage people via economic incentives, of course. Yeah, because that has worked for so many countries, right? Like, no, that does not work. The economic incentive crap does not work. I don't think I've seen any country in which the whole economic incentives to bang and have kids have worked. That are not actually about making people's lives better. From politics to policy. Once elected Prime Minister Takaichi created a new ministerial office. There you go. We're answering the question of Estelle, what this Prime Minister has actually implemented. Kuitekos, the money from said incentives usually goes to excess anyways. From politics to policy. Once elected, Prime Minister Takaichi created a new ministerial office to find ways to realize a society of well-ordered and harmonious coexistence. What the fuck does that mean? A society of well-ordered and harmonious coexistence? Well, now I know everything. That tells no that I don't need to hear anymore. That just tells that this name is so self-explanatory that I literally don't need to. I don't need to read anymore. My God. Heading up that office is Onoda Kimi, a new face on the national stage with a binational upbringing. Binational upbringing? Oh, this person should not be in that position. I'm sorry. A binational upbringing? That's a red flag. Onoda set to work immediately on the task of examining how to manage the impact that non-Japanese were having on society. She convened the first ministerial council meeting on acceptance of foreign nationals and the realization of a society of well-ordered and harmonious coexistence. I cannot get over that name. It's just hilarious. It is a hilarious name. With an aim to implement changes in Japanese policies on immigration and on tourism in the next fiscal year. So I still don't know what the policies are. I still don't know what the goal is. I still don't know what is supposed to happen with this group, with this. I don't know how this group is supposed to realize a society of well-ordered and harmonious coexistence. I don't even know what that means. The issues discussed were varied, as were the solutions recommended. Okay, give me the issues and give me the solutions recommended. Finally, oh my God. Most of the proposed policy changes focused on tourists and on raising the cost of international travel. What? One measure to address over-tourism is to increase the international tourist tax. In the FY 2026 tax reform framework, the LDP and Ishin proposed tripling the international departure tax from 1,000 to 3,000. Japan's international tourist tax applies to both Japanese citizens and foreign travelers when they departed the country. To ease the added cost for Japanese nationals, Foreign Minister Motegi Toshimitsu said the government would submit a bill to lower passport issuance fees, aiming to offset the impact of the tax increase. Another measure proposed by the council was to increase fees for visas to Japan. In December 2025, the cabinet approved its initial FY 26 budget, which includes the planned increase The government is considering raising fees for single entry visas to 15,000 from 3,000 N. The government hopes that this increase will discourage the number frivolous applications and align Japan with international standards. I mean, I'm not sure how much that's going to do, to be honest. The council also discussed long-term residential residence in Japan. Their initial proposal is an overhaul to the permanent residency requirements for foreigners by including a Japanese language proficiency test. I mean, isn't Japan pretty expensive to begin with? I always assumed Japan was a pretty expensive tourist place to begin with. I don't think Japan has ever really been a place, a selected place for poor people per se to visit. Japanese language proficiency test. I guess that makes sense. I'm not against a Japanese language proficiency test per se. What if you already have a certificate though? What if you already have a Noryokushiken N1 or something? Do you still have to take the proficiency test in Japan? Or can you just present your... Noryokushiken is a very prestigious certificate, so I assume you wouldn't need to. What to look for in the election? Also, that's...そういう日本人の気持ちは外国人から来るようなら何かしないといけません。Whether this new attention to foreigners in Japan will prove to be a lasting political issue remains to be seen, but keep an eye on Sanseto. Japan has mixed electoral system with 289 single-member seats and 176 proportional seats. Can Sanseito be competitive in a single-member districts given the financial and organizational challenge faced by a new party? Second, how much does Sanseito rely on its Japanese first platform during the campaign? In this issue that gives the party national clout in the debate over Japan's future. And finally, will Takaichi and her party woo back voters who are more socially conservative? How much will she advertise her efforts to address the growing foreign presence in Japan during the upcoming campaign? Will others in the party join her? A second issue to watch for is the alliance of political reform initiatives among Japanese voters. Numerous efforts to reform how voters are represented are shaping new political party alignments. Our next article will explore these ideas. Wait. We only discussed issue number 1, the growing presence of non-Japanese. What are the other 2 issues? I want to know the other 2 issues. What? This article is not very good, okay? I don't like this article that says, oh, there are 3 main social issues that are being so focused on, but we're only going to discuss 1. Okay, what are the other 2? Is it the evilness of trans people? Is it time? Is it time to do something about those evil transes finally in Japan? I'm going to be right back. I actually made a few Japanese trans friends via Instagram back in the day. I'll be right back. So I guess that's Sanae, Takaichi Sanae. Let's see. Let's see what other things we can learn. I am curious. Tokyo hopes voters will hand Prime Minister Takaichi new clout. Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi party seen gaining lower house. What does she run on apart from foreigners? I don't know. What are her policies apart from just wanting to regulate how visitors act and regulating immigration? Is that it? Is that it? Is gonna be any more details? Like, she's radically conservative. They assumed that she's anti-LGBT or something. A big win will help send message to Beijing that its attacks have not damaged her domestically. A senior Japanese government official said, speaking on condition of anonymity, as the matter is a sensitive one, China's economic curbs on one of its top trading partners could also backfire. While attempts to cast Takaichi as a dangerous ideologue reviving Japan's militaristic past is failing to gain traction, internationally, the official added. Those factors should eventually force China to re-engage with Japan. Because again, she said, the Prime Minister of Japan said that if China attacks Taiwan, Japan will respond with their military or defense force, as it's called right now. Those factors should eventually force China to engage, blah, blah, blah. So far, however, Beijing has showed no signs of backing down. China's foreign ministry declined to answer specific questions for this report. It refers to remarks by spokesperson Guo Jiakun at January 27 press conference that Takaichi had severely threatened the political foundation of China-Japan relations. A Chinese official speaking on condition of anonymity acknowledged that the election may bring Takaichi short-term political gain, but warned that Japanese people would ultimately see the diplomatic and economic price for crossing China. You're gonna cross us, or we're gonna destroy you economically. Takaichi, who has said she will resign if her coalition loses its majority, did not respond to a request for comment sent to her office. Oh my God, do you see? Do you see how fickle the prime ministers of Japan are? She already is talking about resigning. Already, 3 months in, and she is already on, oh, if this happens, I guess I'm out. There you go. God damn. Japan politics are so volatile. If something goes wrong for this lady, we might be seeing a new prime minister soon. Calling out coercion. Coercion. Also, a lot of people are saying that actually there's a big possibility that she will actually gain a bigger majority in the parliament. So apparently her position is not really, according to the polls, her position is not majorly threatened. There is no need for her to be alarmed. While domestic cost of living issues have dominated the campaign, tensions with China loom large, threatening Japan's weak economic growth and spurring the government to step up efforts to boost security. Unveiling the election decision on January 19th, Takaichi called out Chinese military exercises around Taiwan and economic coercion. There you go. China's retaliation for her earlier remarks on Taiwan have included a state-directed boycott on travel to Japan that almost halved the number of Chinese visitors in December. I mean, hold on. Hold on a minute. But she wants to reduce tourism to Japan. So is this retaliation by China a punishment from her perspective? Or is it a reward? I mean, she did say that too many tourists, she wants to raise prices of visas, etc., etc. Wouldn't she spin this as a victory that there are less Chinese visitors now? I don't get it. We just read a whole article talking about how the Prime Minister of Japan wants less tourists. Beijing is also weighing curbs on exports of rare earths and critical minerals. This is big because China is the biggest exporter of rare earths, as memory serves. They are very good at... they actually have a method of... not just excavation, but they have refinement methods that nobody else has. They actually have a very... they have a whole monopoly on certain methods of refinement of rare earth. Chinese state media said analysts at the Daiwa Institute of Research say such a ban could shave up to 3% from Japan's GDP, or about $117 billion, and cost 2 million jobs. Well, that's definitely economic coercion if I've ever seen it. More than 2/3 of Japanese firms expect fried ties with China to affect the economy. A Reuters survey showed this month with an Asahi newspaper survey showing 60% of voters were concerned about the economic impact from 53% in December. Economic anxiety may have factored into Takaichi's decision to call the election now, said Paul Midford, professor of international studies at Meiji Gakuin University in Yokohama. The next lower house vote did not have to be held until late 2028. Following her, who is her mentor? Takaichi's decision to try and solidify power may also be influenced by memories of her mentor, former Premier Shinzo Abe. Wait, that's the one that was assassinated, right? Who returned to power in 2012 during an earlier period of high tension with China, said Shimada, the former vice minister. Abe kept winning elections and built an extremely solid political base, he said. Once that happened, China had no choice but to deal with the Abe government. Yeah, but Abe ended not well. Abe oversaw a convincing upper house election win in 2013 and met Chinese President Xi Jinping in late 2014, just before his ruling coalition delivered another large majority in the lower house vote. A key metric of Takaichi's success will be whether her party can deliver a majority on its own, said Jeremy Chan, a senior analyst for the Northeast Asia with political risk consultancy Eurasia Group. That would require 35 seats in addition to the 198 it now controls in the 465-seat lower house. If she is able to do this, it would signal to Beijing that she will likely remain as prime minister for a few years. And China's pressure campaign against her has backfired. But if she does not succeed, then she will have to resign, said Chan, a former US diplomat in both China and Japan. Conversely, Beijing would likely increase its coercion against Japan if Takaichi wins only a small victory. And she'd possibly resign. Wait, winning a small victory would mean that she would still have a majority. So she only said that she would resign if she would lose the majority. So that's not true. What I'm saying right now is not true at all. I'm giving you false information. I'm giving you fake news. Do we want to look into her some more? Do we want to look into this lady some more? In her policies, she actually implemented. Yeah. Let's see. Japan's policy response to foreign nationals missing key piece. Okay, what are her policies? Okay, let's see. I wonder. Let's see. LGBT policy. Let's check. Let's check by topic, okay? Japan's general election sees little increase in female. There you go. Sanae Takaichi's LGBTQ plus record under scrutiny as she becomes Japan's first prime minister. There you go. Let's go. Let's see what her policy. I mean, she's a hardline conservative, so I wonder what it is. I wonder what her LGBT policy is. Who could ever guess? Who could ever know? Is she of the mind that a real marriage is a marriage between two glorious penis holders? The election of Sanae Takaichi as Japan's first female prime minister has sparked concern, particularly regarding her stance on LGBTQ plus rights. A veteran politician and staunch conservative, Takaichi's ascent marks a historic moment for gender representation in Japanese politics, yet her record on social issues suggests a continuation of traditionalist policies that may hinder progress for LGBTQ plus communities. You think that a hardline conservative might not be in favor of progressing LGBTQ plus rights? No way. I never saw that coming. Takaichi 64 is widely reconsidered for her ultra-conservative views. Oh, reconsidered. Sorry, I cannot read. Takaichi 64 is widely recognized for her ultra-conservative views and close alignment with the nationalist organization Nippon Kaigi. Okay, I need to check that organization out because I don't know who they are. What is Nippon Kaigi? What is this? She's associated with this group. Nippon Kaigi is Japan's largest ultra-conservative and ultra-nationalist far-right non-governmental organization and lobbying group. It was established in 1997 and has approximately 38,000 to 40,000 members. The organization describes its aims as to change the post-war national consciousness based on the Tokyo Tribunal's view of history as a fundamental problem. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no. A fundamental problem, huh? and to revise Japan's current constitution. So they're like, yeah, we did nothing wrong in the war, okay? Stop blaming us. Stop being mad at us for the war. Oh boy. Especially Article 9, which forbids the maintenance of a standing army. The group also aims to promote patriotic education and a nationalist interpretation of state Shinto negationist views in regards to World War II, and support official visits to the Yasukuni Shrine by Japanese ministers. It also denies the comfort women recruited by Japan during World War II were forced to work. Disgusting shit. You're gonna also say that the rape of Nanking never happened? The group has significant influence in Japanese politics. Many current and former ministers and prime ministers have been members, including Sanae Takaichi, the current one, Shigeru Ishiba. Wait, he also was of this group? Our Majin Buu cosplayer was also of this group? Taro Aso, Shinzo Abe, and Yoshihide Suga. In the words of Hideki Kase, an influential member of Nippon Kaigi, we are dedicated to our conservative cause. We are monarchists. We are for revising the constitution. We are for the glory of the nation. Holy shit. And this lady is what? Aligned with them? Hold on. Close alignment. The current prime minister is closely aligned with this group. So what are their goals? Nippon Kaigi has described 6 official goals of the organization as a beautiful traditional sovereignty for Japan's future, whatever that's supposed to mean. Again, this is so vague. Fostering a sense of Japanese unity and social stability based around the imperial household and shared history, culture, and traditions of the Japanese people, including by designating Japanese as the official language of the nation. I mean, Japan is not even all that united. It consists of different groups, when it comes to ethnicity. And one ethnicity was basically just mostly genocided. I can tell, you can guess which one. 2, a new constitution appropriate for the new era, restoring national defense right, rectifying the imbalance of rights and obligations, strengthening the emphasis on the family system, and loosening the separation of religion and state. Yeah, the Aino. That's right. The Aino. Loosening the separation of religion and state. What the fuck does that even mean in Japan when most people are basically atheists? When people just go to shrines because it's a nice tradition and a lot of the people don't even believe in any of it. Like, what is that supposed to mean? Loosening the separation of religion and state. But they're gonna declare Emperor God again? Is that what's gonna happen? 3, politics that protect the state's reputation and the people's lives. Those are exclusive things, okay? The politics that protect the state's reputation are mutually exclusive with politics that protect people's lives, okay? Addressing the loss of public interest in politics and government by taking a more aggressive stance in historical debates and crisis management. I have no clue how that translates into policy exactly. Creating education that fosters a sense of Japanese identity, addressing various problems arising in the Japanese educational system, bullying, prostitution. Jesus Christ. Japanese educational system has problems with prostitution? And and instituting respect for the national flag and anthem of Japan and for nationalists. This is a rabbit hole, but okay. Problem with prostitution in Japan's education system. Jesus Christ, like we're really digging into Japan tonight, huh? Japan is I did not think that I'd be doing like a big Japan thing tonight, but you know. Japan's Joshi Kosei girls, teenagers paid for dates, pressured into sex, says UN. Polyphonica says, thanks Lucy, appreciate the coverage a lot. Sorry, I can't chat much right now, but I'm enjoying this. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much. Also, if you like what I do, if you like Lucy Haze as a person, and if you would like Lucy Haze to be able to return to be on hormone replacement therapy, because I've not been on it for like over a month, then consider having mercy, okay? Consider having mercy on me and joining lucyhaze.org/live and donating or subscribing. All right, let's see about the problem of prostitution in Japanese education. The United Nations is investigating a dating service in Japan after allegation high school girls are being pressured into having sex with customers. God. United Nations officials are focusing on dating company Joshi Kose or Jakey. Schoolgirls should not be in the business of being paid for dates. That's already a problem, even without the sex bit. The lucrative business offers clients paid dates with high school girls, including massages, high teas, walks in the park, and conversation. Often these services involve wearing a school uniform. That's not a business model that I approve. But the UN is worried that the minors involved in the business are very susceptible to sexual exploitation and You think? There should not be a business that allows minors to be paid for dates. What the hell? Sometimes the Joshi Kosei girls are paid $40 or $50 an hour to simply accompany their customers, but that is not always where the date ends. Aki Segawa from NPO Lighthouse, a Tokyo-based center for human trafficking victims, told the ABC it was very easy for customers to push the boundaries. There's a possibility that they have to, for example, have sex with these men, and they would be paid more. Yeah, this should be forbidden. Like, this sort of business model should just be axed, okay? The problem is the whole thing, not just... It creates... This creates an environment for this sort of pressuring to happen. Maybe at a cafe or at a venue of the business, maybe what they do is when talking and having tea, they exchange their contact information there. But the men could easily contact the girl and ask those girls to answer their request by saying that they would pay more money. Ms. Segawa added that policy rarely cracked down on the industry unless there was a victim complaint. I think it's very difficult for the police to actually accuse the business and arrest them, because what they promote is they say that they're paying a salary to have these high school girls to do part-time jobs, and that there's no sexual things going on, he said. It should be forbidden for minors to be going on dates with adults for money, even if there is no sex involved. Am I crazy for saying that? Am I insane for saying that that should be not a thing? I cannot be the only person that thinks that should not be a thing, right? Yuki Imoto, assistant professor in sociology of youth at Tokyo's Keio University, said an ailing economy was one reason young girls were attracted to the Joshi Kosei industry. The girls coming now, it seems it's not just about their interest in going out on dates and so on. Why is it considered normal for minors to be interested in going on dates with adults? Unless what? Is it boys their age? Is it high schoolers that can somehow afford from their high school pocket money to pay them $50 per hour? The girls coming now, it seems, it's not just about their interest in going out on dates and so on, but there's actually some economic need. Well, no shit. Okay? If they were just interested in on dates, they would be going out on dates with their peers without money. You know, of course there's what the fuck? Of course there's economic need. Yeah, there's a business of high schoolers going out with guys on dates for money. Wow, there seems to be some economic need involved. Wow, brilliant. Thank you for this insight. Particularly because many of the girls are coming from cities and regions outside of Tokyo. The UN Special Rapporteur on the sale of children, child prostitution and child pornography, Maud de Boea Wichichio, visited Japan in October, where she looked into the multiple forms of sexual exploitation of children throughout the country. Ms. de Boea Wichichio said there was an urgent need to compile data on the industry and investigate its root causes. I wonder, this is such a curious case. What a mystery. Why would an environment when minors go on dates with adults create incentives for them to want to push boundaries and more? Whoa. A report will be handed down next month. We'll be coming back to this. This is insane. So I guess this super mega conservative organization, Nippon Kaigi, wants to address this, which I guess is good. And instituting respect for the national flag and anthem of Japan, and for national history, culture, and traditions. Okay, so that was 4. I can definitely agree that stopping prostitution in education is a thing that is definitely worth addressing, even if it's addressed by Nippon Kaigi. 5. Contributing to world peace by strengthening national security. Strengthening Japanese defense power in order to counterbalance China, North Korea, Russia, and other hostile powers, and remembering Japan's war deed. And remembering Japan's war dead. Dead? What? Remembering Japan. Oh yeah, remembering Japan's war dead. I'm actually not against Japan strengthening its defense. What I am totally against is glorifying Japanese past, imperial past. I don't know, ignoring Japanese war crimes, which Japan has been doing plenty already, and glorifying war criminals that have done a lot of horrible crimes in Asia. I'm definitely against all those things, okay? I'm never going to just be for that. 6. Friendship with the world tied together by a spirit of coexistence and mutual prosperity, building friendly relations with foreign countries through social and cultural exchange programs. But I thought you were against immigrants. Nippon Kaigi believes that Japan should be applauded for liberating much of East Asia from Western colonial powers in the 1946-1948 Tokyo war crimes tribunals were illegitimate, and that killings by Imperial Japanese troops during the 1937 Nanjing massacre were exaggerated or fabricated. Yep. Those are fascists. I'm sorry. I'm all for stopping prostitution and education, but those are just fascists. The group vigorously defends Japan's claim in its territorial dispute over the Senkaku Islands with China and denies that Japan forced the comfort women into sexual slavery during World War II. Yes, it did. And not just in China, in Vietnam, Korea, and all the places that Japanese forces existed. That was happening throughout Asia. Nippon Kaigi is opposed to feminism, LGBT rights, and 1999 gender equality law. Imagine being against the gender equality. Jesus Christ. What a fascist organization, and the current prime minister has a strong alliance with them. I'm worried for Japan. Because this lady that has a strong tie to this organization is doing a snap election to have a more firm mandate. Holy crap. It has specifically worked to oppose the legalization of same-sex marriage in Japan. It also wants to restore the divine status of Japan's emperor, make women's place in society be in the home, and place public order above civil liberties. Oh my God. Oh my God. Do they want to restore the old flag with the sun rays? Criticism. I wonder what the criticism is. Is it you're a bunch of fascists, perhaps? Does it have to do anything with the fact that it's a pretty fascist organization? Could it be? Nah, it could not be. Could not be. Criticism. Journalist Norimitsu Onishi says that the organization promotes a revival of the values of the Empire of Japan. Tamotsu Sugano, the author of the best-selling expose, The Group Research of Nippon Kaigi, describes it as a movement democratic in method but intent on examining gender equality, restoring patriarch family values, and returning Japan to a pre-war constitution that is neither democratic nor modern. What is this limp-wristed journalist response to this organization? Oh yeah, they are seeking to re-examine certain values and rewrite the constitution. They're fascists. Say it. Don't be cowards, okay? Journalists should be saying that. Come on. Yeah, they just want to re-examine certain gender things and stuff. God. On January 6, 2017, sale of the book was banned. What book? Hold on. What is the book? Oh, yeah. Expose on the group Research on Nippon Kaigi. The book was banned? On January 2 is when he said 2017, sale on the book was banned by a district court for defamation. Pending removal of the offending portion, a revised digital edition continued to be sold. Sales resumed that that March when the court allowed a revised edition with 36 characters deleted to appear. Muneo Narusawa, the editor of Friday Weekly, says that in parallel with historical negationism, the organization often highlights historical facts that portray Japan as a victim, such as with the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the Soviet declaration of war, and the invasion of Manchuria, and the North Korean abductions of Japanese citizens. I mean that one is undeniable. North Korea has been abducting Japanese citizens. I don't know what those characters were. Maybe a kanji for fascism. Former Education Minister Hakubun Shimomura. I mean, it is undeniable that North Korea has kidnapped Japanese citizens. The Secretary General of the discussion group of Nippon Kaigi Diet members argues for patriotic education and opposes a masochistic view of history. Oh my God. You don't get any more fascist than that. If you try to sort of cater, if you try to teach history in a certain way that makes the nation look better, if that is a fascistic thing when history becomes a tool for glorifying the national idea, okay? That is my opinion. History should teach us about what happened and how we got into the place where we are now. It should not promote a nationalist idea, okay? It's not a propaganda tool, or should not be at least. The Hainkorek, a liberal newspaper in South Korea, denounced right-wing nationalism led by Shinzo Abe and Nippon Kaigi as anti-Korean nationalism. I mean, of course, if you're gonna say that the Japanese Empire did nothing wrong, then of course it's going to be anti-Korean nationalism. That goes hand in hand. In its English column, Gabriel Rodriguez in Jacobin, an American left-wing magazine, wrote, "The LDP and Nippon Kaigi carried the legacy of Japanese fascism." Finally, someone had the guts to say it, okay? Thank you. I guess an American left-wing magazine had the guts to say that LDP, which is the party that is currently fighting for a majority in the parliament and, you know, the prime minister, and Nippon Kaigi carried the legacy of Japanese fascism. Well, that's great. That's reassuring. That certainly reassures me that the world is moving in a perfectly kosher direction. But we're not done yet. We were here, okay? We were talking about our beloved Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi, which I will remind you is in a close alignment with the nationalist organization Nippon Kaigi. So we're screwed. The world is going to hell, and we all deserve it. Her opposition to same-sex marriage and resistance to reforms such as allowing separate surnames for marriage couples have drawn criticism from rights advocates. In past statements, she has argued that such changes could destroy the social structure based on family units. Yeah, allowing two men or two women or two non-binary people to get married would just destroy society, wouldn't it? It would just destroy everything. Oh my God, would it destroy everything? While she has publicly stated that there should be no prejudice against sexual orientation or gender identity, her emphasis has been on promoting understanding rather than enacting legal protections or recognizing LGBTQ rights in law. This approach has been viewed by many as insufficient in a country where same-sex marriage remains unrecognized and legal protections for LGBTQ individuals are limited. So she's anti-LGBT. She is anti-LGBT. Takaichi's rise to power comes amid broader concerns about Japan's lagging record on gender and minority rights. Despite being the world's third largest economy, Japan ranks 118th in the World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Report, the lowest among G7 nations. Her administration, formed through a coalition with the right-wing Japan Innovation Party, is expected to push further conservative policies, potentially stalling efforts to advance LGBTQ plus rights. That will happen 100%. It's not a potentially thing. I can already tell you this is going to happen 100%. Without fail, it's a conclusion, okay? It's a thing that will happen 1 billion%. Critics argue that her leadership may reinforce existing barriers rather than dismantle them. She doesn't have a very positive track record on gender issues, on family-friendly policies, women's empowerment, said Jeff Kingston, a professor of Asian Studies at Temple University's Tokyo campus. Yeah, they have been in power for some time. And it's a bad, bad thing. Oh my God. So there you go. Do we want to continue with Japan? Is this a Japanese stream? Or do we want to, move on? Move on or continue Japan? Also, let me check something. That was interesting, actually. That's enough of Japan for today. All right. Let's try to get some more people toward the... Estelle, invite some more people toward the street to the stream. Let's get some President Sunday nerds in here, Is President Sunday streaming or something? What's happening, Estelle? What is happening? Hmm. He's not streaming right now. Then why aren't the President Sunday nerds here? Who's streaming? I cannot believe this. Do the President Sunday nerds not love me? Am I not lovable, Estelle? Am I not the where is Ollie, Glitter Crab, and Gemite? They put a fire, okay, under the thing. They should be here. Oh, impeachment. All right. I wonder what I should do now. There's at least a few topics that we can be talking about. Who's Tectone, by the way? Okay, we're not going to be talking about that. It's not. This is my politics channel. I'm going to leave that question for the slop, okay? Who Tectone is. Why, what? Huh. How many? Stream only has 2 likes. Estelle, you did not like stream. Oh my gosh. I feel betrayed. I feel betrayed by Estelle. That has not even liked the stream. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I guess it's going to take some time before this channel gets more. Okay, let's talk about this. This is so pathetic. I feel like this is the saddest thing ever. This is Trump's out of the deal in action. Oh, Putin agreed not to attack Kyiv for a week. This is such an achievement. I would never betray you, says Convenient Estelle. Thank you. Thank you. You're my best viewer yet. Okay? You would never betray me. Unless President Sunday would go live, then you'd betray me in a heartbeat and go to President Sunday. Or Brooks. Anyway, after a year of negotiation, I think it's more than a year now. After more than a year of negotiation, of promising to end the war, Trump, it seems, has achieved something, okay? Kyiv is not going to be attacked for a whole week during the cold. And you know what? I'm not holding my... I'm not, I'm not going to cross my fingers. We'll see, okay? We're going to see throughout the week if there's not going to be any attacks on Kyiv, okay? We're going to see if my phone is not going to be going, okay? I have a special app. I have an application that shows me whenever Kyiv is under attack. Or maybe I will just be in Kyiv this week. So we'll see if there's going to be an attack. We'll see if Putin respects Donald Trump enough to actually keep his promise on not attacking Kyiv and a few other cities for a whole week. I cannot emphasize enough just how pathetic it is that after a year of negotiation that he was supposed to end the war in 24 hours. Now it's not even a ceasefire, okay? He considers it an achievement for Putin to agree not to attack certain major cities for a week. That's an achievement in Trump's book.
I personally asked President Putin not to fire into Kiev and the various towns for a week, and he agreed to do that.
What the fuck is happening? I personally asked, I pleaded, I begged Vladimir, please don't attack Kyiv and various different cities, at least for 1 week. Please give me that little victory. Others could not achieve this. Yeah, I know he called it incorrectly, but that just demonstrates that he is more pro-Russia than pro-Ukraine. For me, that's normal at this point. Like, we all have to accept that to Trump, Russia and Vladimir Putin, they're friends, and Ukraine is a nuisance that stands in the way of doing business with Russia on the rare earth minerals and all other resources that he wants to extract from Russia via American companies. That's the reality of the situation. And so, in the name of future prosperity and friendship, and since they are now on the same peace board, Putin has graciously agreed not to attack certain, not all, certain cities for a week. Wow.
And I have to tell you, it was very nice. A lot of people said, don't waste the call, you're not going to get that. And he did it, and we're very happy that they did it. That's correct.
That's correct. So I don't know. This rings as so sad to me. Yeah, I got it. I got him not to attack the city for a week, and it was so nice. What Art of the Deal? What happened to Art of the Deal? This is just sad. A pity party.
Top of everything else, that's not what they need is missiles coming into their towns and cities. So,
well, that's been happening every single day. Okay, the Ukraine already has no heating nor electricity for days on end. I get all my political news from Lumi. Who is Lumi? And does this Lumi even cover Ukraine? Also, Lumi does not cover Ukraine as well as I do, okay? Here you go. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he expected the implementation of the agreement. We'll see. An important statement by POTUS about the possibility of providing security for Kyiv and other Ukrainian cities during the extreme winter period. Power supply is a foundation of life. We value the efforts of our partners to help us protect lives. Thank you, President Trump. Our teams discussed this in the United Arab Emirates. We expect the agreements to be implemented. De-escalation steps contribute to real progress towards ending the war. We'll see, okay? We will see if any of this will stick, because there's been a lot of agreements on partial ceasefires still now. There's been an agreement to not attack energy infrastructure, and the attacks on energy infrastructures continued. I don't know. I'm very skeptical on whether or not this will actually work, on whether or not this will actually hold. I feel like Russia is gonna cave and just attack Kyiv this week. I don't know what to think of this. When was this? On the 29th. So, will Russia break promise not to attack Kyiv for a week? Okay. The Telegraph. Trump has announced a Ukraine ceasefire. It is a sham. Is it a sham? Trump has announced a Ukraine ceasefire. Is it a sham or showstopper? He has not actually announced a ceasefire because the battle on the front line is ongoing. That is such a misleading headline that I don't even know what to do with it. The Telegraph is such a dishonest publication if it claims that this is a ceasefire. Like, Trump only said that Putin would not attack certain cities for a week. That's not a ceasefire. A ceasefire would mean that there would be no hostilities on the contact line. Russia's 1 week halt on attacks offers temporary relief, but bitter experience called block any lasting peace deal. No, there's still war going on the front line. This is just about attacking the cities. Okay? This is not a ceasefire. Not by a long shot. That get your heads out of the clouds, the Telegraph. Putin agrees to 1 week ceasefire over Kyiv. That's not a ceasefire. Vladimir Putin has agreed to not target the Ukrainian capital Kyiv and other towns for 1 week. There was no immediate confirmation from the Kremlin that the Russian leader Putin had agreed to such a pause. Brilliant. We don't even have confirmation from Russia about it. Of course. But speaking at a cabinet meeting in the White House, Mr. Trump told reporters, I personally asked President Putin not to fire on Kyiv and the cities and towns for a week during this extraordinary cold, adding that Putin has agreed to that. We will see. Until I hear some official confirmation from the Kremlin, oh shit. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov was asked earlier Thursday whether a mutual halt on strikes on energy facilities was being discussed between Russia and Ukraine, and he refused to comment on the issue. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky late Wednesday warned that Moscow was planning another large-scale barrage, despite plans for further US-brokered peace talks at the weekend. Kyiv, which has grappled with severe power shortages this winter, is forecast to enter a brutally cold stretch starting Friday that is expected to last into next week. Temperatures in some areas will drop to -30°C, the state emergency service warned. It's not clear when the agreement will begin, but Mr. Trump said, a lot of people said, don't waste the call. You already heard that. I don't know. Am I just a bitter person that I just don't believe that this will stick? Am I just this bitter? Am I just such a negative person that I think that Russia might still break this and just decide to attack Kyiv anyway? Like, this has been done so many times. Either Russia is gonna break it and attack Kyiv anyway, or it's gonna do a major attack in 1 week. Okay, it's gonna prepare, it's gonna amass a big amount of drones and missiles, and it's gonna do a major attack after 1 week. I don't know. If you're coming for hopium, then you've come to the wrong place, because there's been agreements to ceasefires, partial ceasefires before, and those ceasefires were always broken. I can see Russia this week saying, oh, Ukraine did this and that means that we don't have to keep to this agreement because actually Ukraine provoked us and we're back to attacking cities. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong, but you never know. You never know with Russia. And you should never trust Russia. You should never trust Putin just on his word over the phone, okay? I would think that Trump would have learned this lesson by now, but apparently not. Apparently not. He is very confident that his personal relationship with Vladimir Putin will pull him through, which is naive. Is a very naive way of addressing things. Estelle says, it's simply a week, and I'm pretty sure Putin will pretend it never happened. True. So I have mentioned this. Also, a lot of civilians have been killed very recently. Yeah. All right. Let us continue to do politics. We have done 2 major super cool segments on today's politics. Also, remember to give my videos some likes, comments, and engagement as I'm trying to grow this exciting new channel. Isn't that right, Estelle? We're trying to grow here. Oh. All right. Free views on the new segment. My segments are not getting a lot of views on the new channel. Free too. And I have 16 subscribers, so I should have at least 16 views. It did happen, and Trump isn't having a dementia hallucination, true. He recently said, my father was a great man until at some point, at some age, he started getting this thing. How do you call it? And the person that he was talking to was like, Alzheimer's? Yeah, that, but I don't have it. That was an actual exchange that happened, mind you. I do start from 0, but 16 subscribers should be 16 views on things. In comparison, my new channel for interviews is doing pretty well. 45 subscribers. The new interview has 55 views, and The first one has 348 views. Estelle, which one do you like more? The first or the second interview? Which one do you like more, Estelle? I don't know why, but my Asmongold video has just gotten so many views. 1,824. And I think it's still looking to grow. It's going towards 2,000 views now. It already is projected to have 1.9 thousand views. This video is actually making me money. Okay? This one video about Asmongold is actually projected to make me money. The second one, you watched the second one? Oh, you like the second one? Yeah, I actually think the second one is better than the first one. I actually agree with you. In my personal opinion, of the two interviews that I have uploaded so far, I like the second one more. Which makes me sad that it has less views, because I think it has more useful stuff. You know? Like the... I'm gonna show. Okay, I'm gonna promote my stuff. You know, I think it has more useful stuff that people can take and use in their lives. Like, look at this short that I'm gonna promote now. Promote the interview. If you're shaking, you should shake even harder. So your brain thinks something's not right here. Maybe I should calm down. And you stop shaking. And how long should you shake? 3 minutes? You keep shaking until the involuntary shaking stops. It's different each time. There was also one very good exercise. He was terrified of the sound of glass breaking. Listen, people complain about how short format content is crap, how TikToks, give you very bad stuff. And, I'm trying to combat this, but not much traction, okay? Also, I checked the automatic subtitles for the first video and they weren't so bad. Yeah, that's pretty nice. He was terrified of the sound of glass breaking. Whenever someone dropped a glass, he would go into a panic. And the psychologist taught him to control the volume in his head. Like a volume knob on a radio. How did she explain it to you? You have to close your eyes and picture a radio in front of you. You turn on the radio and you should hear the sound you're afraid of. You approach the radio and turn up the volume so it's louder. Then you turn the volume down so the sound quiets down. You turn it off and on. You should hear the radio doing all of this. You play around with the radio. Actually, when I went to therapy, my therapist gave me similar stuff about tuning out the noise, etc. I've received this sort of advice on my therapy. It was about negative thoughts. You get similar advice as to how to combat negative thoughts. Gradually, you stop being afraid of the noise.
Тоді ти перестанеш боятися цього звуку все менше, менше і менше. Тому що
Because you can turn it off for yourself.
ти зможеш його вимикати собі.
So what do you think? Isn't that cool? Isn't this war of, again, I've seen discussions between people that said that short format content is really bad and it's just TikTok challenges or whatever. And here, this is short form content, and I think it's useful. I think these are very useful 2 exercises for people to implement, very easily. And it also shows you the reality of dealing with trauma, and like you can do this with different things. You can do this with, like, you can even implement this in the horrible I can implement this in the horrible climate in the USA now. Apparently, children are afraid that ICE agents will kidnap them. So, school children are afraid that ICE agents will kidnap them. Isn't that insane? What's been happening in the US? Oh, I have to write fake Alec Parker. I think this is the opposite of short form slop. This is important. Yeah, but it only has like, how many views does this have? 20? Let me check. 9. Sorry. This only has 9 views, actually. That's sad. Okay. This short only has 9 views. The other exercise on how to fight panic attacks has 23 views. Okay. The one short War and Responsibility that I've uploaded has 1,000 views, but 23 and 9 are very sad numbers, okay? These are very sad numbers for a short. Do you post on TikTok? Should I? Should I start a new TikTok for this? Should I start a Lucy Has a Films? No, that makes no sense. I should? There was a time when I heard that YouTube Shorts was the way. Raider Rain said, absolutely don't go on TikTok. So I got mixed opinions. Also, did you just arrive now, or were you here the whole time? Because sometimes you're here all the time and you just don't say anything. But we were talking about Japan a lot today, about Nippon Kaigi, the fascist group, which is closely tied to the current prime minister. Takeuchi? Also, we talked about prostitution in Japanese education, which is insane. It is insane that old guys pay Japanese high school girls to go on dates with them and then pressure them for sex. It's insane that it's allowed to have a business where you hire high schoolers to go on dates with dudes for money. Insanity, okay? Pure insanity. But there was a time that where I heard that YouTube Shorts were the way to go. That they were absolutely the way to build your stuff. Oh, wrong channel. There we go. Kids are so stupid that teachers are quitting. This is slop. This is slop for later. This is slop for when we go do games and crap.
40% of kids can't.
I don't know. TikTok intelligence is TikTok intelligence is funneled to Oracle, which basically means it's now US surveillance app that blocks controversial. Oh, okay. So I should not go to. Got it. I should not go to TikTok for my engagement needs. I don't know. It's all. I should have a person that would change my stream titles in real time, etc. Let me check something, by the way. Hold on. Edit. What the fuck is this category? People and blogs? It's politics. No, it's politics. Why is my stream put in the category of people and blogs? Sorry. Netanyahu was quoted as saying, how long was I muted? TikTok intelligence, how long was I muted for? Because you're a people? Oh. Okay, so we changed the setting to politics. That's good. Now I'm gonna get a ton of people that love politics into this. Greater Ain't, can you link me the thing? We're gonna go through it. We're doing it. We're doing the Erika Trump leak, whatever. This is politics, okay? Apparently. I would love to say that this is slub, but this is actually considered politics. Okay? Erika, because apparently this is considered a political topic. Especially since what was I forgot his name. Apparently the guy was considered a serious guy. I forgot his name. Charlie Kirk. Yes, thank you. Charlie Kirk was considered a serious political operator. So we're doing this now. I'm changing the title of the stream. And then we're going to be talking about the Democratic Erika. Is it written with a C or with a K? Erika, right? Erisa, right? Big, deep analysis. Big anal analysis. I'm gonna do a big anal analysis of the speech. Erika. A K? Wait, no. Okay, I'm gonna look it up now. Really? It's actually a K? It's a K. What the? How would you? Why would you write Erika with a K? This. Okay, stupid. This is stupid, but whatever. Why would you write it with a K? Okay, now it's okay. Now it's written correctly. Erika Kirk with a K. Okay, deep analysis. It's good now. Und das heißt Erika. Okay. Der, die, das. Are you practicing German or something? Okay. I just... Title. Okay, now I'm gonna take your link, copy link address, and we're gonna... Apparently there's some super damning stuff in here. Why is it starting here?
I just want you to know that.
Why is it starting in the middle? I've never seen this. Why is it here? Why is it timestamped here? Okay. Thank you for sending me Nazi songs, Estelle. I appreciate it. I appreciate your enthusiasm. Okay.
Yep, there you go. Oh, look at all the thumbs up. Look how cute that is. Sorry, it's just...
Wait, is that her? Is that Erika Kirk? I thought she looked different. Hold on. No, that's her. That's the betrothed of JD Vance or something.
Yep, there you go. Oh, look at all the thumbs up. Look how cute that is. Sorry, it's just a little bit more informal than probably Charlie would be reacting. How sweet.
What?
Is. Yep, there you go. Oh, look at all the thumbs up. Look how cute that is.
What's so cute about thumbs up? Should I react like this? Oh, look at all the thumbs up on my stream. Look how cute that... No, that does not feel right. That doesn't feel right.
Sorry, it's just a little bit more informal than probably Charlie would be reacting. How sweet.
Wait, what did she say? That's
Sorry, it's just a little bit more informal than probably Charlie would be
more
reacting.
in sprawl?
Thumbs up. Look how cute that is. Sorry, it's just a little bit more informal than probably Charlie would be reacting. How
Oh,
sweet.
informal. I did not hear the word informal here.
Sweet. I didn't know they could do that. I hate Zoom. I never liked Zoom. Sorry, you guys. I just wanted to say first and foremost, my heart obviously is broken for you guys as much as it is for our family. You guys lost not only a boss, but someone that you looked up to, someone that you believed in his mission, that you also...
That is a very weird switch. That is a very big switch, okay? Oh, look at the thumbs up. Ha ha ha. Anyway, you guys, big loss. To be fair, it's been a while.
that you loved listening to his show. You loved...
I did not love listening to his show. Let's make that clear, okay? I did not love listening to his show.
Hearing his wisdom.
Actually, soon before he died, for some reason, my algorithm deemed to bombard me with his content. I've been bombarded with Charlie Kirk crap soon before he got assassinated.
On things. I'm sure some of you have also had very personal moments of where you sat down and
had private conversations with him.
Yeah, I did not have private moments with Charlie Kirk.
I want you all to hold on to those. And I want you all to remember those so deeply. I want you to journal about them.
Journal? I'm not. Oh no,
I want you to be able
that's never. Okay, that's never gonna happen. Okay.
And I want you all to remember those so deeply. I want you to journal about them.
I will never journal about Charlie Kirk. Okay, that is one thing that I refuse to do. Okay, no matter what circumstance, you will never force me to journal about Charlie Kirk. Never.
To be able to tell your kids about them.
No. Okay, calm down. Okay, he was not that important of a figure. Okay, and Jesus Christ Almighty. Okay, Charlie Kirk was not this bigger than life figure that you have to tell your kids about.
I want you to put those in your heart as why you're still here with the Turning Point USA family, because
Family. This sounds so corporate, by the way. Here in the McDonald's family, we ensure that all of our employees have a nice time when they flip burgers and clean the floor. That sounds horrible.
That's what we want. And like I said to our small group, after whatever
small group
day that was, and I did the thing on TV, how many days are still rounded Friday. I told the team, I said, Turning Point USA will continue like my husband always wanted, and it will be bigger than ever. And we're going to honor him by doing that. We're going to stay humble.
Stay humble? The organization was never humble to begin with. Okay? Its whole modus operandi was not being humble. Humble was not what Charlie Kirk was, ever. We're going to stay humble.
We're going to work hard because that's what he would want. And we're going to just make it grow. And we're going to keep our eyes fixed on heaven.
What does that mean?
And, you know, like even Stacey said, he's going to find ways to speak to us.
Oh, boy. Is this going to be the new thing? Whenever the org thinks of some horrible, despicable things to do, they will now say, Charlie told us to do it. We got a message from heaven from Charlie, and he told us to round up all the gays.
And he's going to speak to you in different ways. Every person's going to be different, but you'll get little moments where you're like, okay, Charlie, I see you. It might be here on campus. It might be in quiet moments of the night, but he's here and he's more alive than ever.
Is he? Is he now? Is Charlie really more alive than ever? No, he's not. He's not more alive than ever. This is so weird.
And
this is so cultish, and Iran, this is so cultish.
He is, he's going to guide us. Then we just have to remain humble.
I never knew that Charlie Kirk's organization was a cult.
Well, the team was, I will fight.
Now I don't know. I invite you to our little camp when we will live and we will be self-sufficient. And when the government comes, I'll give you a little thing to drink. This is so strange.
To make sure that all of you have a job here. I don't want anyone to think their job's in jeopardy, because your family, I
hate it when a company says your family.
Choose to leave, that's different. I never will, and I promise you, I will make sure that I never allow a point to where you have to leave because we cannot financially afford you.
Estelle says they're making him out like Jesus, yeah. And his whatever number of people work for this crap, disciples.
And that is a promise. I want our family to stay together the best it can. Obviously, circumstances, things, there's unforeseen things that might pop up here and there that we can't see in the future, but for right now, the way things are, I would like to remain if they are status quo, and I think that's the best thing to do.
Wow.
And
A conservative wanting to preserve the status quo. What a shock.
everything else we can worry about later. But I just want to let you know that you guys are all very loved. I'm very proud of you, and Charlie would be, I mean, I think Charlie's just... I'm trying not to say that he would be... He's obviously celebrating in heaven.
Holy shit. This is so cultish. I swear to God, this is so cultish.
Amongst many things, but he's so proud of all of you. And he's so proud of all of you for keeping this mission alive. And
Oh my
he knows that you can do
God.
it. That's why you're hired. And he knows that you...
Holy crap. This is going to be the line now. Charlie Kirk tells you to do this. Or Charlie Kirk tells you to do that. We just received a message from heaven from Charlie. We have to keep strong. We have to... Don't falter. Don't doubt. Follow the line. You know? Is this going to be the thing now?
You will be able to carry the torch, and he knows that you're going to do a great job.
This is very
And you're
fanatical.
going to be able to, even though days are going to be tough, honestly, the nights are the hardest. Mornings are pretty raw too. But just what I've noticed these past several days is if I didn't have the family, the Turning Point USA family with me, all of you, I would be a disaster. I mean, I would be in fetal position 24/7. But the fact that we have a continued mission to look forward to, and we have...
Yeah, we have lives to ruin, okay? If we as an organization did not have lives to ruin, I don't know, I'd be just in a fetal position 24/7. We have to continue Charlie's mission of making as many lives miserable as possible. We just cannot stop. We need to continue, and we need to grow bigger than ever.
have our family.
What exactly was Charlie's mission, apart from what I've just listed?
It's everything. And some of you, this is your chosen family. And
I
just
thought that was a lefty thing, chosen family and all that crap. I thought those were like, I thought that the conservative value was a traditional family, not of this patchwork crap, not of this chosen family crap. What happened? Is Turning Point going woke on me now? What happened here?
rely and lean on each other. That's huge. Leaning on each other is huge because all of you were together prior to this and will be together after this. And everything, and I told Justin, it's going to be something where everything before September 10th, any email you were working on, any project you were working on, it's not that it's irrelevant now. It's just things have changed, obviously. And the mission has gotten deeper, and the mission will grow deeper.
Why has it gotten deeper? What is even the mission?
But
how can it grow even deeper?
I want all of you to know, we will be wise stewards. We will be vigilant. We will be humble. And I just want you to know that, again, I'm with you. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And we're going to make sure that we honor my husband so well.
Yeah, this being right after the shooting actually does not change much for me. You know, this doesn't change much for me. It still is all of my criticism remains the same, even if this is after the shooting. Straight up.
That this whole world knows what his vision was and will be, and it's just, I feel
this is a leak, by the way. This is just leaked.
So blessed and honored, and we will do our best to.
What the hell happened to her voice? What the hell?
And we will.
What the?
Do our best to continue to make Turning Point USA the behemoth that he wanted it to be. This
behemoth.
Continue to make Turning Point USA the behemoth that he.
What the hell is a behemoth? Behemoth. Behemoth. There's an E here in the word. Behemoth, not behemoth. Is that really how you pronounce it in American? Behemoth?
Wanted it to be this massive thing, and it is, and that's why we have to stay humble. But I just want you guys to stay in prayer, and if you guys do need anything, please reach out to whoever you know to reach out to, and pray with one another. Be there with one another. Be soft with one another. Everyone grieves differently, so if someone's acting weird, don't read into that.
What?
Everyone grieves differently, so if someone's acting weird, don't read into that. Weddings and funerals bring out the weirdest side in people. Just anyone who's been married knows that. So don't read into that. Just love on each other. And if there's anything, so don't read into that. Just love on each other.
What does love on? I've never heard that phrase before. Love on each other.
And if there's anything or anyone who tries to divide your team or you.
Polyphonica says, sounded like a demon spoke for a second. Like in a horror. Yeah, I know.
Or that's just the enemy, and just rebuke it and know that there's a bigger mission at hand.
What's the mission?
And again, you guys are all very loved, and I feel very honored. And
the demon's back.
I'm grateful for all of you. So I just wanted to take some time to hop on and share with you my condolences. I wish I could help all of you. But again, the fact that there's a lot of them in the office on today. The fact that a lot of you guys are here in office, that's what he would. Like the mission, he doesn't want you to just be sitting on the couch alone in your room. He wants you to obviously.
Yeah, you have. Charlie would not want you to just sit on your ass on the couch. You have lives to actively ruin. Have you forgotten the organization's motto of ruining people's lives? Love on each other is a phrase in evangelical Christianity for just supporting one another. It's weird. Love on each other. It is weird. But thank you for the clarification. I've never heard that before. Yeah, remember the mission. Remember that there's no time to mourn. There's no time to sit on your ass. You need to actively ruin the lives of the LGBT. You have to ruin the lives of immigrants, and you have to, protest against supporting Ukraine. You have a lot of work to do. There's a deep, deep mission to be done. Always remember the mission.
I mean, we will all mourn, but he would want you to build. And so that's what we'll do.
Yeah. He would like you to build by destroying other people's lives, because that is actually what Charlie Kirk was all about. I have no clue. What was Charlie Kirk's mission, unironically, apart from, as I said, ruining people's lives? Like, I am actually asking genuinely, what was his so-called mission?
We'll have a sword in one hand, and we'll have a hammer in the other person to build them. Okay? I love you all. Deep breaths. Usha, I just wanted to share this with you all. I asked her when we were on the tarmac. I said, I don't know how to get through this. And she said, when you're on an airplane, and some of you have kids will really relate to this. Others that don't, you've been on a plane with kids, so you can also relate to this. But she said, when you're on an airplane and you're 15 minutes before landing and the kids are going crazy and you have 15 minutes left on the plane and they're throwing their toys and they're screaming and you're thinking to yourself, am I going to make it through these next 15 minutes? And then the plane lands. And Usha said, you're going to make it through those next 15 minutes. And the next 15 minutes.
Oh no, a kid being a little bit loud on a plane during the last 15 minutes of the flight. Will I make it?
And so I just want to share that with you.
What a story.
Because it was a very private moment.
Okay then.
But it gave me.
Wow.
It gave me some.
I feel like an asshole, but this sounds so stupid.
To know that we can just do this 15 minutes at a time. So if that means at work when you're feeling a little bit down, take those 15 minutes and you'll be okay. We're all going to be okay. I love you guys. Have a great meeting. Is there anything else that you need?
All of this would have sounded so much nicer if she was not talking to her org that dedicates itself to the deep mission of ruining people's lives, unironically.
Yeah, so you guys are loved. Love this little film on the birds. It's so cute. So sweet. God bless you all.
Thank you guys. It's like
Brilliant. So that was that. I don't know what this was supposed to signify. I don't know what I'm supposed to be getting out of this. And I don't know. The main thing that people are getting out of this is that she's not all that heartbroken, but I don't care. I'm going to be honest. I don't care if Erika Kirk is super broken about Charlie Kirk's death or not. Like, don't go, Estelle. I'm looking. You're about to betray me, aren't you? Wow. Okay. I would never betray you, Lucy. Wow. Someone with a better accent is alive and you're already like, oh. Tell Rezi to raid me. I've raided Rezi before. I deserve like a counter raid. And link the link to my new channel. Okay. What do you think, Raider Ain't? Am I an asshole? Okay, I feel like this is the moment or r/am I the asshole, because like I don't really care if she's broken up about the death of Charlie Kirk. Like this whole thing felt very cultish to me. That's the bigger takeaway that I had from this. If this all sounded very fanatical. I hate it when people call a company or a corporation family. The whole talking about the mission just sounded horrible to me, because I know what the mission was for Charlie Kirk, and that was, again, ruining people's lives. Okay, bigotry and hatred, that's the mission of Charlie Kirk, so I assume that's also the mission of his organization. So all of this, he is with you, he is in heaven, he's looking over you. I don't want to talk about him in past tense, because it all would sound much better and nicer and more wholesome if it was not about this particular person and this particular organization. Criterion says, I mean, I don't think her form of grieving or lack of was a surprise so much as, like you said, the lingo and culture of the org was, yeah, it is kind of weird, kind of creepy. And the creepy factor, like, it would be creepy in a neutral setting, to be quite honest with you. This sort of thing creeps me out in a neutral setting when the company or the org is just a regular company. But Charlie Kirk's organization makes its mission to hate people, to hate minorities, to enforce some kind of a religious thing, to be against helping allies internationally. Didn't he? He said abortion was worse than the Holocaust. I remember that. Oh yeah, and racism. Let's not forget about the racism of Charlie Kirk. Like, all that is embodied by his organization. That she wants to be stronger than ever. The mission is now deeper than ever, and it will become even deeper. Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe if Charlie Kirk was in charge of an orphanage or something, Maybe he was, if he was running an orphanage, then the whole talking of the mission becoming deeper and everybody keeping on, I don't know, on board to ensure that everything's, I don't know, it's like any other organization than Turning Point USA would have been better. Like this is just, what am I even supposed to do with this leak? With this creepy leak? But you know, it was a topic and I did it. Okay. All right. Any thoughts? Greater Rain has given thoughts. Filip August, Convenient Estelle, Polyphonica, give me some thoughts. Today is a very slow stream, I have to say. Wait, hold on. Was that the leaked audio? Or there was a leaked audio. This was a video. I want the leaked audio. Yeah, I want this. I want the leak. This wasn't it.
All right, let's jump into the 3-minute leaked Erika Kirk call that was just released to the public by Candace Owens. Now, Candace Owens has been waging
Greater Rain, that wasn't it. That wasn't even it.
war against Turning Point USA, and as a part of this war, she released a call that took place 11 days after Charlie Kirk was publicly assassinated.
I want this. Someone link me this. I didn't even react to the right thing, although that was pretty creepy, but I want the thing, okay? Give me this. Greater Rain, Greater Rain, Greater Rain. I cannot believe you. Seems like I have to do this myself. I was like, why is this a big deal? What is this a big deal? Leaked, Charles, Erika. There we go. I'm gonna watch the real thing now. This one is supposed to be a lot more crazy than the lackluster creepy thing that we have witnessed. Okay? No. I've seen other people have leaked Erika thing in their titles. You have tripped me up. You have destroyed this stream. Okay? You have destroyed the unity of the organization. You have betrayed the mission. And we have a very deep mission, even though we're a family, Greater Ain't. And in family, people scold each other. And I scold you as the member of the Lucy has a family. You're not acting like a real family member to this family of ours. Okay? You should be ashamed of your behavior. Okay? Uh, are we looking towards heaven as well? Yeah, of course. I mean, you're in my presence. You're already in heaven, okay? All right, let's see. This is the thing, okay?
Hi, everybody. I still love all these emoji Zoom things. Wow. I don't even know where to begin. The fact that we were able to pull off.
Look, it started just like the video that you sent me with the talk about the emojis. There you go. I guess that's just her starter. Why is it so quiet though? Why is it so quiet?
Hi, everybody. I still love all these emoji Zoom things. Wow. I don't even know where to begin. The fact that we were able to pull off an event of a century, like it's just insane.
Okay. One moment. Right.
We had over 275,000 people that attended, and
275 hateful bigots. Oh my gosh. How glorious.
stadium overflow, Westgate, insane, you guys. And then you have, is it 100 million? You guys that heard the gospel and all about Charlie and all about everything that you guys do, and the hard work of Turning Point USA is insane. We had thousands that were registered to vote. I think we're at like over 200,000 for merch sales.
This sounds so corporate. It's even worse than the one before.
Don't quote me on that because I think it just keeps like bumping up like crazy. But I just wanted to say a huge thank you to the events team, the development team, the graphic design team, the production team.
This is the most corporate leaked call that I've ever heard.
Phenomenal. Their incredible work.
This is much more corporate than the one before.
Leading into the memorial. And honestly, a lot of the staff that worked on the memorial, they had 20-hour days for a week during the time of us grieving the loss of my husband. And honestly, I know several staff that didn't even sleep. Again, you guys are breathing angels, and I'm so grateful for all of you. And obviously a huge thank you to the Mosaic team. VI, you guys are 10 out of 10. Like we have the most incredible team. We just do. And you guys.
This is just, I mean, I'm listening to some corporate meeting when person's like, oh, cool, good job, team. But using a lot more words.
You guys know that, and you guys are all a part of that. And I am so,
What?
and you guys are all a part of that.
Part of what?
We just do. And you guys know that, and you guys are all a part of that. And I am so thankful.
Brilliant.
And if you do have a moment and you run into any of those staff members that you know had a role
Tell them a bonus is going their way.
in this, and you know that they put a lot of their time and effort into it, just say thank you. There's something really special to be seen in moments like this, and it's not easy. I'm speaking from experience. I'm right in the trenches with you guys. And so the fact that you just, a simple thank you I don't care if any of you have beef with each other from the past
Oh my
or have
God.
any issues with someone said something about this or that. Like, if you guys have any of that, please put it to rest. My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead. And it puts life into perspective
I'm not trying to be morbid.
of how short life is and relationships, and God puts people in your life for a reason, and it teaches you a lesson, it teaches them a lesson. So if you are going through a time where, just lay it to rest, and we are moving forward, Turning Point USA 2.0 with Charlie in our hearts, and that's what he would want.
Wait, so did she just use the death of her husband as a disciplinary tool in a business meeting? Whatever crap you have, I'm not trying to sound morbid. My husband's dead, so behave. Thank you. Turning Point 2.0. What am I supposed to get from this? Candace Owens released leaked audio from Turning Point USA in which Erika Kirk is heard giggling and cheerfully discussing attendance figures, merchandise sales, and performance metrics from Charlie Kirk's memorial event just after 11 days after his death. I mean, okay, she's a cynical person that capitalized on her husband's death. Like, am I supposed to be shocked by this? This just rang to me like a typical corporate meeting, to be quite honest with you. I don't know what am I supposed to do with this. Yeah, she's a cynical, exploitative person. She was married to Charlie Kirk. Was I supposed to expect her to be a nice, good person? Like, Charlie Kirk was a horrible person. Why would his partner be any different, any better? I'm not. Candace Owens is pushing the conspiracy that Charlie's death was intentional. She thinks that he was set up by Erika. What? To be with JD Vance? Or what? What's the... That's stupid. Whatever. I'm not even gonna entertain the... I know. She's been transvestigating Macron's wife. I know that she's gone off the rails, okay? And transvestigating the wife of a friend, the leader of France, is, okay, pretty out there, okay? That's what she's been up to. So I'm not even gonna entertain the conspiracy theory. Okay, to me, this is like, I'm not surprised by this in the slightest. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to get from this leaked call, apart from the obvious fact that Erika Kirk is a very cynical person. I'm sorry, Polyphonica says she's claiming to have visions of him in dreams, and he's told her that he was betrayed and Israel is involved. So Candace Owens has gone insane? Actually, I see. This is all very interesting, very, very interesting. But this call does not, this leaked conversation does not really, in my mind, point to any of her ramblings being even remotely true, okay? Again, the only thing that I'm reading from this leaked call is Charlie Kirk's wife is a very cynical person that takes advantage of her husband's death to profit. That's it. That is all that I see here. It is pretty morbid and it is pretty pathetic, but that's all that it is. There's nothing more to it. This is actually pretty unremarkable. Like the whole Candace Owens, sure, there's that angle to it, but the leak itself is just, there's nothing to it. I'm not even sure why people are so You know, am I crazy? Am I not seeing something that's in the leak that's supposed to grab my attention, especially? Like I expected her. I expected Erika Kirk to be like this. That was my expectation. Like the content of this leak is nothing that I did not actually already expect her to say or act like. Is there a third? Yeah, is there a third leak that actually has some? Like, am I being unreasonable with this? With my analysis of this? That there's actually not much to analyze here? There's not much to this? Am I being crazy? Hmm? Is the outrage coming from her fans then? No, there's this person, Candace Owens, that is trying to peddle a conspiracy theory that Charlie Kirk has been targeted by his wife for elimination because, I don't know, she wanted to get it with JD Vance or something. I'm not gonna entertain this. Like, what am I supposed to glean from this? Oh, this is this was also a leak, I guess. I guess you just gave me a different leak. A fully leaked TPOSA Zoom call has surfaced featuring Erika Kirk conversing with staff just days after Kirk's. I mean, am I supposed to really be shocked by the cynicism? Well, it's right-wing infighting. I love to see them go patch shit at each other. There's a silver lining to this nonsense. Yeah. It's just pathetic. Okay. Yeah, of course, the death of a high profile figure is going to be used for profit. Like, of course. These are not good people. Of course, they're gonna take advantage. And they're gonna glee about merchandise, about attendance, and about profits. Of course, that's gonna happen. Like, who here is surprised by that? Who here is in shock and awe? My Asmongold video has 1,836 views. I still don't know why. Maybe I should do more Asmongold stuff on that gaming channel, you know? To at least make some money on YouTube. What do you think? Thoughts? Okay. We have to have some good... Oh. Yeah, there's also this. There's also this topic. One moment. My pants. I really wanted to gain popularity on your own merits. It is my own merits. Well, I mean, Lucy has a slop now, isn't it? Or something. Lucy has a channel is now slop. Sloppy content. One moment. I'm gonna be right back. This is the serious channel, okay? This is where I gain popularity on my own merits of being a super cool political commentator. And I have 4 viewers. One moment. I'll be right back. One moment. I'm grabbing some food and I'm grabbing some food and I'll be right back. Okay? I'm making my mom tea. Tea for my mother. All right. That's my excuse as to why I am how I am. You understand me, my Filius? Yeah, both things were. Yeah, that was Delic as well. Seems great rain. Well done. Well done. I have food. Chat, Spider, chat. Bonjour. 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 Okay. Well, nobody's chatting. I wish I had a lively, nice chatting chat, okay? That would be the greatest gift that you could give me. A chatting chat. Let's see if there are any traders.
On.
Okay, I don't see any traders. Good. Wait, what country is everybody trying to leave? Everything they're trying to leave. What country?
Fascinated to travel to countries that most don't. This burning desire to discover more about places we know so little about and what the real life is like behind often negative and unfair media headlines. Well, there's nowhere else in
Russia?
Europe that receives less visitors and is so often dismissed as the country of Moldova.
Oh,
And when we found out we could head there for just an £8.99 flight direct
Moldova. I've been talking a lot about Moldova and how it might reunite with Romania. I've been actually learning a lot more about the history of Moldova as well recently. And actually, yeah, I'm starting to be sold on the idea that maybe actually reunification would not be such a bad idea. I'm becoming more and more sold on it. And apparently, the amount of people that want reunification have, in just recent years, raised from 15 to 30% or something like that.
from London, the urge became too much. So we booked the last minute flights, packed our bags, grabbed our big coats and headed to the airport to fly to Moldova. Sort of. And we've made it to Romania. We're actually in the town of Iași, which is right on the border with Moldova, and now we're going to get a bolt to the city centre and hopefully to the bus station, where we're going to hopefully, there's so many variables, find a bus from here to Moldova, hopefully all the way to Chisinau, but let's see.
Did he do speak the same language?
Hello.
Linguistically speaking, they're identical.
What are you doing in Romania?
We have a few different.
Tourism.
Ah, okay.
But there's zero problems in communication between people from Romania and Moldova.
And instead. Yeah.
But I guess it is. Yes, it should be.
We shall soon find out.
Yeah. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you.
So nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
The Soviet Union changed the language in Moldova, like introduced Cyrillic alphabet, but that was changed back.
Okay, let's find out.
But that way left and go straight and you'll see a barrier just like here on the left hand side.
Yep, same road all the way. Just
Yeah, same
follow.
road all the way and on the left hand side you see the barrier over there.
Thank you very much.
Ask around.
I go to bus stations like this when I travel in Ukraine. And I went from Kyiv to Kharkiv.
Thank you.
I went from a bus station like this.
See the city?
We ended up getting the wrong bus station, so hopefully now we walk into the right one.
Oh, Ukrainian flag, did you see? There's not a small amount of Ukrainians living in Moldova, by the way.
Eu sunt din mănăstire, ar trebui să fim...
Dacă haideți că facem altceva.
Peron 5. Perfect, mulțumesc. Ah, sure. Бонжур. Здравствуйте.
Как вышла. А можно нам, пожалуйста, до Кишинева доехать?
Конечно.
Спасибо. Можно два билета, пожалуйста?
In Russia? I know you can definitely communicate in Moldova. In Russian.
Спасибо большое.
600 лей или 150 эти гривны, не гривны, а эти лея.
Румянский, да, 150?
Так.
Нам надо до банкомата, да? Сейчас в банкомат зайдем.
After finding out the bus to Chisinau was leaving in 2 minutes, it was a mad dash to find an ATM.
Still filming though. So not a Superman dash if you're still filming.
Do you reckon he's on the way?
Yeah. Give me more money.
Cool. Let's go. Все, спасибо.
Thank you, sir, on the bus. Moldova is interesting.
We just crossed into Moldova, and you know that the passport control, they often ask you why you're heading into a country, and majority of the time I proper freeze. Tourism. I just think I'm so dodgy.
All right,
Every
that's
time
enough.
I'm like, what do
We've had enough of this. That was interesting, especially since Moldova has become a closer topic to my heart. It performed really well on the other channel. That is weird. Who's the Midas touch? That's Ariadite. Erika Kirk is not grieving differently. She's allegedly not grieving at all. Yeah, I don't care. I could not care less whether or not Erika Kirk is grieving or not, honestly. It's not something that interests me. Bookmarks.
Doing great. JD, if you'd like to say something, you can. Would you like to really quickly? He is, after all, the Vice President of the United States.
It's okay, sir. I'm here for the free coffee. I just say it's an honor to serve with this group, and we're doing a lot of good for the American.
What a funny humor man. RFK Jr.
Yes. Mr. President, we're in the process of implementing your great healthcare bill,
There is no healthcare bill.
which is going to increase affordability, drive down costs.
Trump said that affordability is just a Democrat hoax. I'm pretty sure that is what Trump said, that affordability is just this made up term, and now RFK Jr. just used it.
and increase the quality of health care for every American. You mentioned
There is no healthcare bill. Oh, this one is a doozy. When he says that he does not want houses to become more affordable because he wants the boomers that already have houses to have big value on their property.
Existing housing, people that own their homes, we're going to keep them wealthy. We're going to keep those prices up. We're not going to destroy the value of their homes.
Who cares about young people that want to get a house, a home? Who cares about them? We're going to keep those who already have houses wealthy.
So
that's the agenda of making America great again.
Somebody that didn't work very hard can buy a home. We're going to make it easier to buy. We're going to get interest rates down. But I want to protect the people that for the first time in their lives feel good about themselves. They feel like they've, that they're wealthy people.
What the fuck?
And I want them to understand it. There's so much talk about, we're going to drive housing prices down. I don't want to drive housing prices down. I want to drive housing prices up for people that own their homes. And they can be assured that's what's going to happen.
So yeah, that's your president, okay? He does not want you to be able to afford a house. He just wants those who already have a house to be wealthy. That's the agenda. Isn't that cool? That's what's happening. Oh yeah, so there was talks of Ukraine possibly joining the European Union in 2027. Ukrainian politicians have been saying that that is their goal. Their focus is to be able to join the European Union in 2027, but Germany rejects that. Germany says that it's a several-year process, that there's this is no European Union, no NATO, war is continuing, Europe is dropping the ball, the United States have all but abandoned Ukraine. Things are not looking peachy, to be quite honest with you. Germany rejects Ukraine's 2027 EU bid as Kyiv seeks clear accession path. Germany has firmly rejected the idea of Ukraine joining the European Union in 2027, underscoring divisions within the bloc as Kyiv continues to push for a clearer accession timeline amid the ongoing war with Russia. And also, there's the fact that Hungary and Slovakia straight up say that they will never let Ukraine into the European Union. There are countries within the Union that straight up say, we will never allow that to happen, no matter what happens. War or not, Ukraine is bad for the European Union. They're bad for the competitiveness. They're going to ruin market A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We will always oppose it. I know that Viktor Orban says that. As long as he is in power, which very soon might change, he will not allow it. Speaking to TVP World, Ukrainian MP and Voice Party leader Erika Kirk Leak said Ukraine remains under extreme strain as winter conditions worsen and energy infrastructure stays vulnerable. Our energy system is known to hang by a thread, she said, adding, we still have hundreds of homes in Kyiv that are without heating since the recent attack. Rudik reacted cautiously to US President Donald Trump's claim that he had asked Russian President Vladimir Putin to not attack Ukraine for a week during a period of extreme cold. Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to be honest. Kira Rudik is a smart person, okay? Kira Rudik knows what she's talking about when she's being very cautious about any promise from Vladimir Putin. We have heard many assurances from President Trump and many good calls with Putin that he had, and that didn't result in anything good for Ukraine. Yes. Thank you. It seems like I'm not the only person that is bitter. It seems like I'm not the only person that is jaded It feels like, I don't know. I felt a little bit bad about saying all these things in the segment, that I don't believe it, but no, it seems like Ukrainians understand that as well. We've heard many good calls. So let's see how we survive those next couple of days. Yeah, I think so too. That's my opinion on the matter as well. He warned against trusting Moscow's intentions. I hope our military do not trust Putin and are ready to take down any drone or missile that comes our way, Rudik said, arguing that Russia could be waiting to relax and then attack us at the weakest point at the darkest hour. Yep, that is definitely a possibility, that Russia is aiming for Ukraine to let its guard down in Kyiv and then strike. Commenting on Germany's opposition to a 2027 accession date, Rudik said EU enlargement remains a political decision rather than a purely technical one. Europe does not have a cohesive decision on accepting Ukraine, she said, pointing to internal resistance. For example, we still have Hungary, we have Slovakia. There you go, the countries that I mentioned. Rudik added that President Volodymyr Zelensky is seeking long-term certainty rather than immediate membership. What President Zelensky perhaps wants is just some assurances that at some point Ukraine will be in the European Union and that it wouldn't take decades, she said. Ahead of the new round of Russia-Ukraine peace talks expected on Sunday, Rudik voiced concern about what she described as diminished US role, or rather anti-Ukraine US role at this point. We have to say that the US has a pretty adversarial role to Ukraine at this point, and a pretty friendly one towards Russia. We are very worried that the United States seem to not be participating in this next round of negotiations, she said. It's not a good sign. This whole thing has been a horrible sign. Trump was supposed to end this in 24 hours. On the possibility of territorial concessions, Rudik was unequivocal. It's not about territories. It's not about the land, she said. It's about the people that living there, the people that would find themselves under occupation or displaced, either one of these two. How can we sacrifice some of our people so other people can live in some illusion of peace? It's just impossible, she added.
Germany says a firm no to Ukraine invitation. Let's start with Donald Trump's words. Today he said that he asked Vladimir Putin not to attack Ukraine for a whole week as temperatures drop extremely low. Now, would a week, if indeed this happens, would a week be enough to restore heating and electricity and water to those who need it?
That is a good question. I've been wondering that myself, actually, if a week is enough to restore anything. So I really wonder about the answer to this question.
The truth is, we do not know. Of course, our energy system is known to hang by a thread, and our energy services are trying to do their best to really have a chance of people to have heating and electricity. We still have hundreds of homes in Kyiv who are without heating since the recent day attack. However, we will see. We have heard many assurances from President Trump and many good calls with Putin that he had, and that didn't result in anything good for Ukraine.
Yeah.
So let's see how we survive those next couple of days. It will be indeed very hard temperature-wise. The cold spat is coming up. And one thing is, I hope our military do not trust Putin and are ready to take down any drone or missile that's coming our way, because from what we have seen in the past, it could be a strategy.
Yeah.
Hope that we will relax and then attack us at the weakest point at the darkest hour.
Let's get back to the very beginning of what I said. Germany says a firm no to Ukraine joining the EU in 2027. How would you comment on German Chancellor's words?
Of course, the decision to accept Ukraine into European Union is a political one and a part of negotiations with the coalition of the willing. President Zelensky announced that we need a date because we know that Europe does not have a cohesive decision on accepting Ukraine. For example, we still have Hungary, we have Slovakia, and there could be
all those countries that I've been talking about. The Czech Republic is, I'm think, right now in the camp of Slovakia and Hungary.
Other countries that would say firm no. We understand that the process of integration is a really long one, and Ukraine has done so many things really by the book to move in this accession process.
During a war, mind you, that is a pretty important thing to remember. Ukraine has done a lot of these things during a war. That is not an easy thing for countries to do. Those all those requirements that are put towards candidates to join the European Union are not easily fulfilled during peacetime.
So I understand that this process is complicated, and what President Zelensky perhaps wants just some assurances that at some point Ukraine will be in European Union and it wouldn't take decades as for other countries that are also candidates.
What do you expect from this next round of peace talks between Russia and Ukraine? It's due to begin this Sunday.
We are very worried that the United States seems not to be participating in this next round of negotiations. It seems that they are backing off, and it's not a good sign.
They are backing off, and they're also pressuring always Ukraine and never pressuring Russia.
Again, given that we know that Russia has no intention to stop right now, they just have intention to drag on the negotiations to escape sanctions that President Trump promised to impose if they will not agree to negotiate. So they negotiate, and would there be a result? I guess by Sunday at least we will see if Russia will commit to the word that President Trump...
I don't think anything will come out of these negotiations. I'm not gonna lie. I am very skeptical about the results of these negotiations. I think this will be another empty meeting that will lead to nothing. People will say that another step has been taken towards peace, that it was very positive, that there was mutual respect, but nothing will come out of it.
Gave to not to attack our energy infrastructure. But again, I'm not very hopeful because
we
do not see any real incentive for Putin to stop right now. He has his winter campaign going. He is escaping sanctions successfully. Europe is still discussing on how to act on him and still have time till 2027 to ban Russian gas. So, why to stop now?
Marco Rubio.
Good question. That is an excellent question. I don't think he has any incentive to stop. I think these negotiations on Sunday will not lead to any significant result. I agree with that.
To be precise here, said that although the top American negotiators, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, are not joining the talks, there might be someone from the American side to help in negotiations. Ukraine's foreign minister, Andriy Sybiha, stated yesterday that, let me quote, "The most sensitive issues are still unresolved territories and future control of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. The president is ready to meet with Putin to discuss these issues."
But Putin said that he will only talk with Zelensky if he goes to Moscow, and obviously Zelensky will never do that because I don't think that Zelensky's safety can be guaranteed should he go to Moscow. It is perfectly rational to reject the proposal of holding the meeting in Moscow.
And resolve them. Where and when would President Zelensky meet with Vladimir Putin? Because the Russians say that he can come to Moscow, where he would be provided with safety and all the means.
Yeah, of course, he would be provided with the safety of a coffin.
To wake. Now, is President Zelensky indeed planning a trip to Moscow?
Oh, I'm sure we all understand that Putin just dreams to repeat President Trump's success with Maduro and show the world that he is also a great leader, which he is obviously not. I'm sure it's not in Ukraine's interest at all for President Zelensky to go to Moscow.
Yeah.
There are so many other places.
That would be such a, oh my God, that would be such a bad move.
In the world that will ensure the security. Again, the question is, could these negotiations between Ukrainian president and Russian dictator really end the war and really...
No, I don't think so. I don't think they would lead to anything once
and
again.
The question about Zaporizhzhia nuclear station and territories that Russia is demanding. I seriously doubt that. Russia understands the only language, the language of force, the language of power. We have been saying it since the day one. We have been proving it with the facts. And if you look even at the last 4 years of Ukraine fighting, there has not been...
Yeah, I mirror these sentiments. I think that is absolutely correct.
Any time when something else miraculously worked with Russia, only the force, only the ability to fight back, what was supporting Ukraine in negotiations, what was allowing our ships to actually go in and trade in the Black Sea, that allowed us to regain some of our territories. Unfortunately, it was not diplomacy. It was strengths that we gained with the support of our partners. So
and drones.
Now, the recipe for ending the war is very simple. Weaken Russia, support and strengthen Ukraine. I do not believe that...
Yeah, Russia has to be forced into a position of actually wanting to seriously negotiate. And the West does not seem to be able to learn that lesson.
Russia intends to keep any of the word that they may be giving, and that they have any intention of ending the war. We see absolutely no sign on the ground of that.
And yet it seems that it's the US who pushes for territorial concessions in Ukraine. Now, what would Russia need to offer?
Yeah, that is because Donald Trump is interested in rare earth mineral deals with Russia. Trump is interested in maintaining a good relationship with Russia, and so Trump is interested in giving Russia what it wants in those negotiations. Trump is not willing to demand anything of Russia. He already said that the biggest concession that Russia can give when it comes to a ceasefire and peace is not attacking Ukraine anymore. That is the concession.
In return for Ukraine to cede the Donbas region?
I don't think there is such a thing, to be quite honest.
Maciej, it's not about territories. It's not about the land. Same is it not about the land for Russia. They have enough land. They have huge territories.
Yeah.
It's about people. We have people living there. How can we sacrifice some of our people?
I hate that question, but I resent that question. What would Russia need to do for Ukraine to just give it what would Russia have to do for Ukraine to give it what it wants? I resent that.
So other people can live in some illusion of peace. It's just impossible. It's not that you can offer something. It's impossible on the human level, not even on a political one. I do not think that there are any politicians in Ukraine that want to go in history for conceding some lands to our enemy. I don't think that President Zelensky is that politician. I don't think people in the parliament, members of parliament, are doing that. But more than that is we are fighting, and Russia was not able to take those territories. So why should we give it up? That's the question, not rather than what Russia can offer for it.
So we have a stalemate. Nothing changes.
Yeah.
No, it's not a stalemate. we are trying to get stronger. We are working
I
with
mean, right now it is a stalemate. Let's not. It pretty much is, yeah.
our partners on increasing the defense spending, on strengthening Ukraine. We have heard the European Union imposing more sanctions. Some of them will work in 2027, and we hope to survive by that moment. There is
Holy shit. People are already talking about the war continuing to 2027. Holy shit.
not
We're just trying to survive into 2027. This is one of the grimmest bits that I've heard.
another nation in the world that wants peace more than Ukraine, but it's not at any cost, and it's obviously not by capitulating to Russia and giving them something that they are not able to take by force. So we are fighting. We have lost so many people in this cruel war. We have so many people suffering right now when we are speaking, and it's not to go and capitulate tomorrow.
Yeah.
Kira Rudik, Ukraine MP and the Voice Party leader, was our guest this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and glory to Ukraine.
And thank you for watching.
There you go. That's it. Yeah, I have to say a lot of what the lady just said is exactly what I'm thinking about this, including the promise of not attacking Kyiv for a week. I just don't buy it. Just don't buy this illusion of security. All right, we've done it. We've done the political thing. So now I'm going to do a little bit of a gaming thing in slop, okay? We're going to do slop and gaming now because I have to. I have things, okay? So yeah, it is Grim Estelle. Estelle, you are here, so tell me what game should I play, okay? I'm gonna play any game you wish me to play. I hope it's Suikoden too, but you know what? No more polite trick, no more polite ticks, no. We've done 3 hours of polite ticks. Now we have to do the rude ticks. We have to do gaming now on that other channel. On that other channel where the Asmund Gold video is. What do you think of Anna? What Anna? Who is Anna? Wait, who is Anna? Before I switch to the other channel, who is Anna? Oh, I don't know what to think of Anna. I don't know who that is. I don't know Anna. Whoop. Oh, wait, Anna. Is this the character with the double face? I like that character a lot. That's probably copyrighted, right? Okay, I'm gonna end stream and I'm gonna start the stream on the other thing. Okay? I'll see you in a moment. Go to Lucy Hazena. Okay, we'll